21-year-old Nicole Wagner is suing her former live-in boyfriend, Christopher Solomon, for the return of rent and for the value of property she left behind.
All rise. Now, this is case number 554 on the calendar in the matter of Wagner versus Solomon. You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. May be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Wagner, Mr. Solomon was your boyfriend for a while, and you lived together. He has 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
One.
And according to your complaint, Mr. Solomon asked you to move out of the house. There was a problem. You did move out of the house, and you claim that Mr. Solomon kept some of your stuff, refused to give it back to you, ruined some of your stuff when he put it out in the rain, and then caused your car to be towed from his place of business, and you can't get it out unless you have thousands of dollars. Mr. Solomon says that he gave you ample opportunity to retrieve your stuff. He said that the car that you left in the parking lot of his business wasn't running. You should have moved it because he had to have it towed. It was in the parking lot. That's your problem. You didn't take responsibility for your own things. He is counterclaiming, alleging some nonsense, but he also says that you damaged his car. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so give me the dates that you lived together, Miss Wagner.
We moved in together into our new house on August.
August of 2006. And were you both on the lease?
Yes.
When did you separate?
It was November 14th, the day we broke up.
Now, I want you to tell me about that date.
Okay, he had given me my new engagement ring, and I was still in the bed sleeping when he woke me up trying to jerk the ring off my finger. And I was asking what he was doing. He said that he found out that I cheated on him, that he wanted us to break up, and that it was over for me to leave. So he jerked me up by my arm. I called her. She came and picked me and my son up, and we left.
November 14th?
Yes.
When for the first time did you try to get your property?
I came back on November 25th to get my things.
Well, what'd you do between November 14th and the 25th?
He wouldn't let me come to his house.
Is that right, sir?
No, ma'am, that's not true.
And yes, sir.
Okay. Let's get to the point where you believed she was not being faithful to your relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
That came to a head on November 14th.
I said she needed to make a life choice. Either she wanted the lifestyle where she was going to be out all night long, or the family lifestyle that we had set up. I have 2 children. I raise on my own.
Gotcha. Done. So she left.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Now, when she left, did you prohibit her from taking any of her property?
No. Now,
That's a hesitant no.
She came and went as she pleased for the first month after that. She would come and do laundry at the house. She would come and get just a few clothes and leave everything else
How do you
until I had
know
to call
that,
the
Mr.
police.
Solomon?
Because at first I allowed it. I allowed her time to find a place to get her things to take to.
You mean between November 14th and November 25th?
It went on long past that, yes.
She was coming back and forth to the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Wagner, let me tell you this. I believe him. I want you to understand that my job is to be able to tell if somebody is pulling my leg or not. I believe that after you left on November 14th, you went back and forth to the house freely. Do you understand? So if you're to tell me that that's not true, I'm not going to believe you.
Okay,
Do you
well,
understand?
I have proof of this.
You have just a
On
second.
November
You have proof that you never went back to the house with his permission after November 14th?
Can I tell you something? He
No,
changed
I want
the locks on me,
I
so
want
couldn't
you
get
to
in.
pay careful attention to what I'm saying to you, madam. I can tell when somebody is not telling the truth. Between November 14th and November 25th, did you enter the house?
Yes.
How many times did you enter the house between November 4th? You see how easy this is getting?
Right, I got you. I went in twice when he was there, once when his babysitter was there.
So you entered the house when he wasn't at home?
Yes, one time.
I don't care if it was 1 time or 10 times. Now, when he wasn't home, why didn't you get your stuff?
I was, and his babysitter said if I didn't leave, she was going to call the cops because he doesn't want me there. So I left. And when I went back on the 25th, like he said I could, he called the cops on me and Ashley because I was getting all my things when I brought boxes and everything. And the cops said I had to leave.
Was there a time, I've read his answer, that Mr. Solomon spoke to your aunt about you coming to the house to get your property?
Yes.
When was that?
December 19th is when we all agreed to meet at the house. Yes.
Not all agreed. When for the first time did you call Mrs. to tell her to at least accompany Miss Wagner to the house?
I went to her place of employment and had a long conversation with her, and Miss agreed to be the go-between, and that she would be present at the time, and she would be there when she came to get her things. It wouldn't be an argument.
And that happened December 19th? Is that when the arrangement was made?
Somewhere close to that.
Fine. Now what happened, Miss Wagner?
Okay, I went over
Look
there.
at me.
I went over there on the 19th.
With your aunt?
No, she said she wasn't going to come. It was just going to be me, that I needed to go down there.
That was the arrangement. The arrangement that was
Right.
made with Mr. Solomon and your aunt was she said she would accompany you.
She didn't have enough time to do whatever she had to do, so she said that I needed to come by myself. So I did. I talked to Chris, and he was there. We talked. I mean, we were fine.
Well, if you were fine, why didn't you get your stuff?
I was packing my things, and that's when he called the cops on me. He pulled out a gun and was like, I'm going to shoot anybody that comes up in this house to help you. And that's when I was like, let's just leave. It was me and Ashley. My son was there. He said everything would be fine, so I came.
Wait, ma'am.
Go ahead.
When she came to the house, she came to get a few things.
No,
the
that is
argument
not true.
was that I thought you were coming to get everything, not just a few things. A pair of black pants is exactly what she was looking for, and that's all she was going to get and leave. At that point, I said, no, if you're not getting anything, you don't need to be here. You coming in and out of me and my children's life is doing nothing but hurting them more. They were attached to her. We had a family together. She's coming and going and doing nothing
So
but
what
dragging
you're
this
saying,
on.
Mr. Solomon, is Miss Wagner wasn't coming to get all of her things
ma'am.
on December 19th. She was coming to get a pair of slacks.
Yes, ma'am.
From the house.
That is not true.
Were you packing up
Yes,
your
I was
stuff?
packing my stuff that day. And the cop told
What were
me
you packing?
all my things. I was in the laundry room at the time packing up all the clothes in the bags, and I was packing up all the stuff, and when I walked back in the kitchen to go get more boxes, that's when he pulled the gun out and was like, anybody that comes in here, because I was on the phone saying, can you please come help me with the truck so I can get everything. And he was like,
Who
if
were
you...
you talking to?
Her boyfriend, Jamie,
Why wasn't Jamie there with the truck? Why were you calling him?
because I needed somebody with a truck to come help me.
Well, why weren't those arrangements made before, Miss
Because
Wagner?
he said he was going to use his truck to help me move everything. We were still talking. Everything was fine.
Go ahead.
Well, when I went back through the thing, he pulled out the gun, all that kind of stuff happened, and he was like, if you're not going to be with me and you don't want a family, to leave. And I was like, just let me get my stuff. It's not going to take me that long. I don't have that much stuff at the house. And when he told me to leave, he said, fine, I'm just going to call the cops. Well, I'd already called the cops because he had pulled the gun out after I got off the phone with Jamie, and I said I was going to leave. I'd rather have a cop there when I'm packing all my stuff.
Why didn't you bring your aunt? It would have been much easier. That's who we made arrangements with.
She didn't want to come.
I'm not so sure about that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You mean after he pulled the gun on you, after you called the police on him, you spent Christmas morning together with him, opening up presents with the
For
children?
the kids, yes.
And later today,
What you're telling me is that she held the plane tickets over your head in order to get you to sign the lease. That's ridiculous. You sound ridiculous, like a ridiculous baby.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nicole Wagner says former live-in boyfriend Christopher Solomon owes for the return of rent. Christopher is countersuing for storage costs and vandalism to his car.
Go ahead.
And the cop came down there and said that if I needed certain things for my son, I can go get them, but I had to leave. And if we wanted to settle this, we had to settle it together,
Fine.
or we had to go to court.
Very good.
And that I couldn't come back until we did.
That was December 19th.
Yes.
When did you go to court?
We didn't go to court.
Well, when did you file to get your stuff?
I never did. He
Why
said
not?
he was going to file to take me to court for leaving my stuff there.
What?
Yeah.
If you wanted your stuff, the police told you what to do. They said go to court. Why didn't you go to court and file a claim against him for your stuff?
I would have if I had the money to do it. On Christmas,
You don't need the money to do it.
It costs $48 to take somebody to court for small claims.
Well, you have a 4-year-old child, madam. How are you supporting yourself?
Well, at the time, I had lost my job when we were together because
How
we
were
wanted
you
to be a
supporting
house
yourself?
mother. My mother was helping me at the time.
Then you ask your mother for $48 so you can file a small claims case.
Well, between her and my aunt talking to Chris, Chris was telling them that I was going to be able to get my stuff. We just needed to set a better date.
Baloney.
And that's what was said.
Baloney. But let's do me a favor. Could we get to the truck, please? When did you leave your truck at his place of business?
When we were together, we
What
had left
month?
it there.
What month?
I'm not sure. It had broke down, I think, in August.
And you just left it at the parking lot.
Right,
You left in November.
right.
Why didn't you take your truck?
Because he gave me time to find a home for me and my son to live in.
Oh, so he was just a
And-
second. So after November, now what you're telling me is, Miss Wagner,
When we were broke
now
up-
what you're telling me is that after he threw you out in November,
We
he
spoke
gave you
plenty of times after that.
he gave you time to find a place to live, which was very nice after he believed that you were cheating.
Right.
He gave you time to find a place to live and get settled. That's what you're telling me.
Correct.
So it wasn't all terrible. And that included finding a place where you could take your truck that had broken down in August.
Right.
How long did he give you?
He said I can have until January 31st to move my truck.
January 31st. That was the date. Is that the date you gave her,
On
sir?
a Wednesday.
No,
Is that
ma'am.
the date you gave her?
No, ma'am.
She makes things up as she goes
even-
along. She doesn't
No,
realize that when
no.
I tell her things that I can tell when somebody is lying to me, that I can tell.
Ma'am, I have
When
a
did
picture
you
here.
have the truck towed, sir? Give me the date.
January 1st.
January 1st. So you had the whole month of December.
Right.
You had the whole
When-
month of December after things were not going well. You should have moved your truck.
Well, we only started talking after December 25th. And after that, he said that I could have up until January 31st to move my truck. And I said, you know, we were still talking. We spent Christmas morning together. You know, we switched presents for kids and everything.
Really?
If I
You mean
might add-
after he, just a second, Miss Wagner, you mean after he pulled a gun on you?
Yeah,
after
we
your gloves,
decided to be friends.
after he pulled a gun on you, after you called the police on him, you spent Christmas morning together with him, opening up presents with the
For
children.
the kids, yes.
Mr. Solomon, the truck she takes care of by herself. You want the truck? You want to get it out of impound? Pay for it. You had ample opportunity to get your stuff. You didn't get your stuff. It's gone. It's over. You want to go into your counterclaim with me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm timing you, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, ma'am. On New Year's Eve, I started receiving some prank phone calls coming from private numbers, but easily recognized her voice after living together for so
That is
long.
not true.
I said, you know, I'm older. I don't need this going on in my life, this drama. You know, if this is the way it's going to be,
Whatever.
then you can come get your stuff now, and I'm going to start putting it outside. And when she came over thinking of putting some of her things outside, she raised a lot of cane, and after she left, they went outside, and there was a nice chunk out of the side of my car. Somebody evidently had run a key that was not there before into the side of my car.
And can I
No,
say
no,
something on that?
shh. Yeah, sure.
She's my witness when she came with me down there to get my things that he left out in the rain. And when he called me, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We were already at home in the bed, and I had asked the lady downstairs to keep an eye on my son while I ran and got my things out of the rain. When we went got down there, he
You
was
woke
outside
somebody-
drunk.
You woke somebody up?
Yes.
A neighbor downstairs? You woke somebody up 4 o'clock
Right.
in the morning? You know, you probably...
And we
you
all lived together.
You probably wouldn't know the truth if it came up right
Yeah,
over
and
here.
I have text messages
Right over
from
here.
his phone.
You don't have proof that she did it. Could have been her, could have been the guy that she
Right.
brought with her, it could have been somebody else.
I understand.
It's over.
Yes, ma'am.
It's over. Finished.
Okay.
It was a bad scene. Move on. You too. Goodbye.
I have.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He played house for a while,
He wanted me to be a housewife
but after she remembered what the party life was like,
and you like a soccer mom.
she chose that lifestyle over that one, so.
I wasn't ready for that, and I told him that.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Latore versus Hanlon. Step forward.
Alexandra Latore says ex-boyfriend Anthony Hanlon owes for several unpaid loans.
Miss Latore, this used to be your boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, he claims not, though.
And is your claim that he scammed you out of some money?
Yeah, basically.
Mr. Hanlon says that he never scammed you out of any money. Pretty much you're a nut. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good one.
Tell me about the first bit of money that you gave to Mr. Hanlon.
Well, we met back towards the end of March in 06, and at that time...
Could you try to stand still?
I'm nervous.
I know, but try to be nervous within yourself. Don't make me a co-conspirator in your nervousness by jumping around. It sort
All
of
right.
makes me nuts.
Well, the first bit of money came when I got my taxes on April 15th, 06. And he took me and my kids to Target to go buy some stuff for my kids. And he had called me outside and asked me if he could borrow $200 because he needed to pay his insurance to his car. And I was like, okay. And he said he'll pay me back. That was the first. So we kept seeing each other after that daily, whatnot. And it came around where I had brought to his attention I was looking for an apartment because I wanted to get out of the transitional place I was at with my kids. And his cousin was moving out and she was offering to sublet the apartment. So that had a $1,000 money order that I had put to the side for my taxes. Out of that, I went and go cash and I gave him $700 to put as security for the apartment.
Who did you give the money to?
To Mr. Hanlon.
Now, she gave you that money, Mr. Hanlon.
No, ma'am.
Who did she give the money to?
I don't know. She didn't give me
That's
any
a
kind
lie.
of money.
Did you tell her about this apartment that was available?
I don't know anything about what she's talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
That was that, and then I kept coming around asking him, you know, what's going on with the money. He kept giving me excuses on the manager this. I was to the point where, you know what, I want to go myself, and I was going to get belligerent with the manager because he kept giving me the runaround that this manager was giving him about the money. He was like, well, if it's a problem, I'll have my cousin Leslie write you over a personal check. Then what happened was his car had got taken away, and he had called me to try to help him to get the car out. And I had told him, you know, I could help him out, but he was like, fishing for like the whole amount to get the car out. And so I was like, I can't help you. And he kind of got mad because I was like, I can't help you because I need to put my money in savings.
So you didn't give him money for the car?
No, that's
Perfect.
where it became a problem.
Great.
No.
Go ahead.
And at that time, we had talked about purchasing a car, and some guy was going to sell him a Regal, and he had talked about fixing it up, and then later on, the car would be left for me and the kids, and when I had a baby.
Can we get on with it, please?
So I gave him $1,000 basically, and he had put that in his bank account. And he didn't buy the Regal because we talked about going to auction. So he was renting a car, and he needed $300 up front. So that was the $300 I gave to him out of my purse, and he was supposed to give that back to me. He never did. So when he rented the car after the weekend was over, he decided to leave. And when he decided to leave, he told me that he was going to give me back the $1,000, and that never happened either.
Go.
Only thing I know about Your Honor is the $500 that I had totally owe her, and that's for the $300 for the car that she had let me rent recently, and $200 miscellaneous cash for gas money.
That's
and
not
I told her,
true.
no problem, I will reimburse you that back.
Talk to me about the $1,000 that she says she gave you to put down on a car.
I don't know anything about that.
Any proof that you gave him $1,000? A check?
It was
Copy of a money order? A withdrawal from your bank?
I don't have a bank account. He put it in his bank account.
Well, how did you cash
It
the
was
check?
cash. No, when I got I show you the statement from my taxes the day I got it, and out of the taxes is where I gave him the $1,000.
How much did you get from your taxes?
$4,600 and something.
And what did you do with the other $3,000?
I bought stuff for my kids and bought stuff for my house that I needed.
No. You mean you cashed that check? You kept the money in your apartment?
I paid my rent. And I give him some, because I don't keep cash. I don't have a bank account, basically. I don't have a bank account.
Miss Latour, I don't believe a word you just said to me.
Okay.
Now, she says you also took her son's PlayStation. Was it
Her son's PlayStation.
Yeah.
Her son's PlayStation.
Look at me.
I have a PlayStation. Yes, ma'am, I do, absolutely. But that was not for her son. She specifically bought the gift and gave it to me, said, here, this is yours. She purchased
That's a lie.
2 PlayStations.
That's a lie.
2 of them,
at
both.
the same time?
I would hope so. She brought them home at the same time to her house while I was there.
Will you return the PlayStation?
Yes,
sir?
ma'am,
Perfect.
with the quickness.
Very good. 1 PlayStation there. So you return the PlayStation to her?
No problem. It will be returned.
Is it in good condition?
It's still in good condition. I have the box and everything, ma'am.
Within 5 days, it goes back to her.
Yes, ma'am. Before that,
Along
today.
with the $500 that you borrowed from her.
Whenever I get it, yes, I will get
No,
that.
now.
I don't have that now.
You'll get it now.
Oh.
That's the judgment. $500 on the PlayStation. Clear?
Clear.
Very good. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. Step out.
I think she just wants to see me. That's why she brought me here today.
He's going there right now, but he wasn't like that when he was living with me.
A relationship, it wasn't one in the first place. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
That's all we call it, excuse me, friends with special privileges.
No, I don't say con, because every dog has his day. What goes around comes around.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Haslam versus Orduña. Step forward, please.
Elizabeth Haslam is suing her ex-boyfriend, Andy Orduña, for a laptop and cell phone bill.
Ms. Haslam, according to your complaint, you dated the defendant for a while and you loaned him your computer.
Yes, ma'am.
He failed to return it. You want the value of the laptop. And you also say that you put him on some cell phone plan and he didn't pay the bill. You had to take back the cell phone. There's a disconnect fee. You want him to pay for those charges.
Correct.
He says all of those things were gifts to him. So, when and why did you loan him your computer?
I loaned it to him when he went on a business trip past Bakersfield.
Why did he need your computer?
He was going to watch videos. I loaned him also my DVDs for it as well.
And when was he supposed to return it?
A week later, when he came back.
So what happened?
I guess supposedly he went and he was on his way back from the business trip and got pulled over and was arrested and put in jail.
What were you arrested for, sir?
I had a warrant, and it wasn't a business trip, actually. I went out for the day, and we went out to Glamis to go ride our motorcycles, so I don't know where she's coming out with saying that it was on a business trip.
She was trying to be kind to you.
Well, tell the truth. I mean, I went out with a bunch of friends, went out riding motorcycles, and we stayed the night out there.
What did you get arrested for?
I had a warrant for failure to appear.
Failure to appear for what?
For a traffic ticket.
For traffic?
That's what I said, yep.
And how long were you in jail, sir?
Like 45 days.
45 days for a traffic ticket?
Yep.
How old do I look to you?
How do you look?
I'm asking you, how old do I look?
50.
Perfect. I'll take it. Listen to me. I've been on the bench for years. Nobody goes to jail for 45 days for a traffic ticket.
Well, I had a traffic ticket for a warrant and stuff. And I had
Nobody goes to jail for 45 days, sir, for a traffic ticket. I won't press you further.
Okay.
Suffice it to say, more than a traffic ticket. Now, what happened to her computer?
Well, I had a warrant, so they kept me there, and I left it in my friend's truck. When I came out of jail, I found out he had gotten into some trouble, and he wasn't nowhere to be found no more. So I thought about it, okay, it was a gift. She gave it to me, so...
Well, tell me how it came about that she gave it to you, Mr. Orduña.
Because we were going out and stuff, and she told me that her husband had gave her this laptop, and that she didn't want nothing to remember her by her husband, so she had gave me her laptop.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie, because you had told me yourself.
Just a second.
She had
You
told
mean
me.
she didn't want to have any sentimental attachment to this laptop?
Yeah, exactly.
After he came out of jail, Miss Hazem.
I asked him where my laptop was.
And he said?
He said it was in George's truck, which was the friend he got busted with.
You mean while he was in jail? For this 45 days, month and a half, you didn't inquire as to where the laptop was?
Oh, yes, I visited him every weekend.
Well, if
and
you
I
visited
asked
him every weekend, why didn't you go and get the laptop before?
I didn't know this guy.
Well, why didn't you ask where he was?
He didn't know. I asked.
It never came up. It never happened.
Just a second. So every weekend you would go to visit him in jail, and you questioned him about the computer. But when he got out of jail, you took him back.
Stupidity.
Wow. When he came out of jail, you took him back. And not only did you take him back when he came out of jail without your computer, but then we get to the second part of your lawsuit, the cell phone part.
Yes, ma'am.
So when did you get him this cell phone?
In July of 06.
July of 06. And between March of 06, when you loaned him the computer, and July of 06, what'd you do without this computer?
I continued to ask for it.
Did you continue to live with him?
No, we never lived together.
Did you continue to have intimate relations with him?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to live together to have intimate relations with him. As a matter of fact, sometimes it helps the relations if you don't live together, right? I didn't say that.
I didn't hear it.
Good. Neither did anybody else, I hope. Why don't you tell him that he didn't need a cell phone? What he needed to do was get some money to pay for your laptop.
I should have.
Yeah, sure. So what are you bothering me now for, Miss Hazel? Now that it's over, either you left or he left. Who left?
I did.
Because you got fed up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would have gotten fed up a long time before, but it took you that long. Why are you bothering the courts now? You made two mistakes. You let him use your computer. If you said to me, I loaned him the computer because he was such a deadbeat and a lowlife, he had no interest in securing my computer. Not you. You go to visit him every weekend in jail. He comes out. You still engage in an intimate relationship with him. You buy him a cell phone. You pay the bills. And then, when you've had it with him, why did you have it with him?
Because I couldn't take any more lies. I couldn't take any more of the fact that he wouldn't give me my rightful belongings.
Rightful belongings had nothing to do with it. It has to do with emotions. It had nothing to do with rightful belongings. Why did you separate, Mr. Orduña?
Because I think she wanted to go back to her husband. She was with her husband when she was with me, too. And she was just trying to find more security, I guess. And
she was trying to find security with you?
With me or her husband, whoever she could find it. But obviously she didn't find it with me.
Are you and your husband back together again?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Move on.
Yes.
He's over. He's finito. He's finished. Done. Do you have the cell phone back? He doesn't have it back.
No, I don't even have the cell
Where
phone.
is it?
I guess he has it.
Where's the cell phone?
I don't have the cell phone. And I told her that I didn't have no money to pay for it. And she said, don't worry about it. I want to be able to talk to you because I was staying in a sober living house. And she wanted to be able to get a hold of me.
You were living in a sober living house?
Yes, I was.
Why, were you a drinker?
No, I had some drugs I had got caught with a while back.
That had nothing to do with the warrant, right?
Part of it.
So it wasn't just a traffic ticket?
Well, it was...
Mr. Orduña. Ms. Hazem, move on. You're back with your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. That's all. Step out. Case is dismissed.
Thank you. Step out, please.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Detweiler versus Atkinson. Step forward, please.
Deborah Detweiler is suing her former friend, Gary Atkinson, for a loan to buy a home.
Ms. Detweiler, you and the defendant were, according to you, friends.
Yes, ma'am.
And there came a time when Mr. Atkinson was buying a new house, and it is your claim that you loaned him $5,000 with the understanding that he was going to pay you back.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Atkinson says nothing could be farther from the truth. While he acknowledges that you got the cashier's check, he gave you the cash in order to get the cashier's check, so that you were merely just performing a ministerial act by going to the bank and getting this cashier's check as a favor but the money actually was his. Tell me what happened when you were in a position to loan him $5,000.
Okay. I had recently sold my mobile home to my ex-husband and his new wife, and he said that...
How much did you sell it for?
I sold it for $10,000.
How did he know that you had $10,000 in the bank?
We became friends. Also, I was going through a breakup with my boyfriend, and him and my ex-boyfriend were talking back and forth, and I don't know what was being said, but I know that somehow he found out that I had this money in the bank. My boyfriend evidently had told him.
So he said to you, can you loan me? Come on, I own you the loan.
He said that he wanted to buy a $250,000 home. He was having a hard time getting hold of his daughter, Angel, because she takes care of all of his banking for him, and he needed $5,000 in order to put down on this property. I said, well, I've got the money in the bank, but you have to promise me that you'll pay it back.
So?
So I went to the bank. I wrote a check out. I've got a copy of the check that come out of my bank, the $5,000.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
See where it came out of your bank? Shh, just a second. Let me see where it came out of your bank. Go ahead.
Okay. I loaned him money, and then I wrote out a promissory note asking, because he said he promised to pay me the money back, and he refused to sign the promissory note. So,
okay. I will hear you, sir.
Your Honor, I dispute that. I have from Wachovia Bank a copy of the microfilm which shows a completely different description on the memo, where she's indicating she loaned this money. I initially made
All
arrangements...
I want to see from you, Mr. Atkinson, is very, very simple, sir. All I want to see from you is a withdrawal from your bank, $5,000, on or about August 23rd.
I have that, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. No, sir, that's not what I'm talking about. This is a letter. I don't take letters and
Yes, ma'am.
evidence. I take bank records, which I assume you have, because you knew you were coming to court today. This you can take and throw in the garbage. What I need is your bank statements. That's all I have to see. Then I know that you gave her the money and asked her to go and buy this certified check, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show me the bank records.
Your Honor, I do not have the actual bank statement. However,
Well,
I do have...
Sir, let me tell you something. If you don't have the bank statements, then you don't have evidence, because this is trash. That you can get by stealing a piece of stationery or having a friend at the bank write that letter for you. Bank records. Why are you looking at me like a deer in headlights, sir? Am I speaking a foreign tongue? Bank records.
I do have two witnesses, Your Honor,
I'm not
that was
interested
there.
in witnesses. I'm interested in your bank records.
I do not have the bank
Why
records,
not?
just the document from the
Why?
bank.
No, you have no document from the bank. What you have is in the garbage, sir. You have a savings account. You had money transferred into SunTrust Bank, according to this piece of garbage. Then you should have records. That's what records show. And you don't have it.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all. Get that.
Parties are
You're a liar, sir. I don't like liars.
thank you very much.
Once again, the plaintiff uses someone to get what she wants.
I hope every man, woman, and truck driver out there is watching so they can see what a liar and a con artist he actually is.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hyman versus Wilson, come forward.
Navlet Hyman is suing the mother of her daughter's schoolmate, Cheryl Wilson, for an emergency room bill. Navlet says Cheryl's daughter, Mecca, viciously attacked her daughter.
Miss Hyman, it is your claim that Miss Wilson's daughter and niece assaulted your daughter in school. You took her to the emergency room, and you want Miss Wilson to cover the costs of the emergency room visit. Miss Wilson says that your daughter was the aggressor, that her daughter was merely protecting herself and acting in self-defense, and therefore she's not going to pay anything. Which of these two little girls was the child who was injured?
Tatiana.
That you? Tatiana, would you come up here, please? Hi.
Hi.
How old are you?
10.
Do you know these two girls?
Yeah.
Who are they?
One of them used to come to my school in 1st and 2nd grade, and Monica still comes to my school now.
Who's Monica? That's you. You know the other girl's name? What is it?
Mecca.
Mecca? Do you know how old they are?
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
11.
Are they friends of yours? Did you ever play together?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember the day that you were injured?
Yes.
Would you tell me what happened?
Okay, I usually pick up my sister and my cousins and wait for my mother in the front office to come and pick us up from school. Well, this evening, as I was going back into the school, somebody tapped me on my shoulder and asked me if my name was Tatiana. And I turned around and I answered yes. And she said, my cousin told me that you call me ugly. So I said, I barely even know you. Why would I call you ugly? So when I was turning around to walk back in, she slapped my glasses off my face and punched me in my eye.
And which girl did that?
Mecca.
Raise your hand. Did you go to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am, the next day.
Did you have a black eye?
Oh, it was a bloodshot. And it was swollen right here.
And your glasses got broken?
Yeah, they did.
Now, this little girl, did she do anything to you?
No, ma'am.
It was Mecca?
Yeah.
Okay. Sit down. Up here. How old are you, Mecca? 11?
Yes.
You know Tatiana? You want to tell me what happened? Look at me.
All right, so my grandma came. We came to pick up my cousin Monica.
Did you pick Monica up?
Yeah.
And what happened when you picked Monica up?
She told me that, like,
Look at
that's
me.
She told me, she said, that's the girl that called you ugly and was like, you stupid or whatever.
And what did you do?
I went to her and I tapped her on her shoulder and I asked her, are you Tatiana? And she said, yes, is there a problem? I said, no. I said, I just wanted to ask you a question.
You had this whole conversation with her? Yeah, go ahead.
So then she was like, after I said that,
Look, no, don't look down there. Look here.
After I told her that, she put her hand in my face and mushed me and said, get out my face.
She did that?
Yes. So then I pushed her back and then she did it again and then that's when I hit her.
You think I believe that? I don't. I don't believe that this little girl is about a foot shorter than you are. Put her hands on you first. I don't believe it. If something in this world doesn't make sense, it's because it's usually not true. I mean, if you stood up next to her, who would be much bigger?
Me.
Right. Step down. Oh, by the way, before you step down, stand up. Step right over there.
Oh, Judge, you can't
Sit
go
down.
that far.
Sit down. Tatiana, stand next to your mother. You better make sure you answer me truthfully. Did you tell anybody that this young lady was stupid?
No, ma'am.
Did you tell anybody this young lady was ugly?
No, ma'am.
Oh, she's certainly not ugly. I don't know if she's stupid or not, but she's certainly not ugly. You, up here.
Miss Instigator, yes.
Who told you that Tatiana called your cousin ugly and stupid? Look at me.
She said that right to me.
Who said it?
Tatiana said that to me.
When did she say it to you?
In the classroom when we came
When?
back from lunch.
Well, tell me about the conversation. What did she say to you? Look at me.
I was talking to my friend. I told her that Mecca got her hair done last night. She looked nice. And then Tatiana approached me and told me that Mecca's ugly and stupid.
And what did you say to her when she said that?
I said, don't tell me that because I'm not Mecca. Tell Mecca that.
How did you think that was going to make your cousin feel?
Mad.
Mad. So why did you tell her?
She said, tell her. She said, go ahead and tell her.
You're making it up as it's going along.
No.
Yes, you are. You're making up the story as you're going along. Go over there and sit down. Can I see the emergency room bill, please? Stand up next to your mother. You have choices. If you're going to make bad choices, the only one who's going to suffer is you. Bad choices are made when you use your hands. Bad choices are made when you respond to somebody, even if they say something that is unkind, with physical force. That's what separates lovely young people from bums. Bums use their hands. Bums react violently. Your mother doesn't want to think that she's spending all this time and energy raising you to be a bum. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $969.85. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was very angry at the time that, another child would do this to my child.
She shouldn't raise her hands and fight. You would make a better decision.
She says to me, my daughter was very wrong for doing this to your child, and I'm sorry, but we'll do what we have to do.
I was sorry for what happened, but I didn't have any money to pay anybody.
If you want to talk about me, if you want to say stuff about me, then I'm going to solve it right then and there.
Well, I think it shouldn't have happened. Nobody should have called nobody ugly, and even if I did, I'm really sorry, and all of this shouldn't have happened.
I think it was a little bit wrong.
Children have to learn how to talk a little more, not fight.
We all should just get along.
Gonzalez is suing her sister, Myra Gonzalez, for driving her truck while she was in jail and for a loan so she could take a vacation.
All rise. Yes, case number 177 on the calendar in the matter of Gonzalez versus Gonzalez. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
What's your first name?
Marty.
And yours?
Myra.
Your mother liked M's?
Yes, she did.
All of us.
All
7 of us.
All M's?
Well, 5 kids and the 2 parents, all M's. 7.
All M's. According to the complaint, you made a loan to your sister when she was having some difficulty in the amount of $2,500. You want that money back. And then you were incarcerated for a period of about 2 months and claimed that she used a truck that belonged to you without your permission, and she wrecked it. You were paid by the insurance company for your wrecked truck, but you believe that she should compensate you for the time that she used the truck without your permission.
Correct.
Ms. Gonzalez says that she had your permission to drive the truck and that the $2,500 that she acknowledges that you gave her was a gift because you were a sister and helping her out. First, because I'm a curious person, what were you in jail for?
I had a confrontation with the school official, and with 9/11, they consider that a terrorist threat anytime you fight with the official.
Is that the first time you were incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
Must have been some confrontation.
It was.
Was it about you or about a child?
My children. I wanted to take them out of school, and they wouldn't let me.
Why?
Their dad has primary custody, and he instructed the school officials not to let me take them without his permission. But that was the day that I was supposed to have them. He called the school, told them not to let them
go with you.
With me, correct.
Got it. Satisfied my curiosity. So you were incarcerated for 60 days.
Correct.
Now, prior to that, you told me that in your complaint that you made a loan to your sister. Tell me about the loan.
Well, it was against my best wishes. I was incarcerated. I had only contact with my older sister, Maria, who's sitting over there.
So you made this loan to her while you were in jail?
Correct. While I was down, depressed, upset.
Well, tell me about that.
During the time I was being incarcerated, my sister Myra and her husband had refinanced their home for $40,000. I guess it was a surprise to her, but he took off with the $40,000 and her best friend, who he had been seeing for a year, and she used to take care of her son while they used to go out together. So anyway.
That's a lot of information that I really didn't need.
Okay, so my sister Maria asked me on 2 different occasions that Myra had no money and no car, and she was going to be out in the street because she lost her job because she was depressed and upset and all that. So even though I told my sister I don't want to do it, I know what's going to happen, my sister Maria kept coaxing and pushing. You're the only one that can help her. You're the only one. I had no job. I'd been fired. I was in jail, but yet I was the only one of 5 kids who could help her. So I did it.
You must
I
have
agreed
had
to.
money from something. Where did you have the money from?
I always have savings. I'm an auditor. I'm an accountant. I always have a little stashed away.
So you were in jail at the time that this agreement was made?
Correct.
But so far, you're just telling me that you had conversations with your older sister. You're the older sister?
Yes.
Nothing with the defendant?
Correct. Until after I got out of jail.
Okay. So I want you to tell me how you got the money to your sister.
My sister Maria, I was out in between the 60 days. I gave her my savings.
What do you mean you were out?
I went in twice because I had a little problem with the roommate, so we were both taken to jail. But anyway, they took me back on the first offense. So during that time, I gave my sister permission. I gave her power of attorney to take care of my business while I was incarcerated because I didn't want...
You gave your older sister that authority.
Yes, and I gave her my money to put in her bank account to pay my bills while I was incarcerated because I didn't know how long they were going to keep me there. I didn't want anything to be repossessed or foreclosed on.
Okay, do you have that power of attorney? Do you have all the paperwork?
No, I don't have the power of attorney. I didn't think I was going to need that part. No, ma'am.
You have a check?
Yes, I have a check register that shows...
I don't want to see the check register. I want to see your return check.
That would have been with my sister Maria, and I asked her to get them. She never got them to me, but I don't think either one are denied the fact that she did take the money.
I want to see a bank statement showing that the $2,500 was taken out. The check register is not proof of anything.
I asked her...
You're an accountant.
Yes,
You're an auditor.
Correct. But it wasn't in my hands. It was her account that she was in charge of.
Just a second. They had to take the money out of your account, madam, in order to put it in her account.
No, I took it out myself while I was out in the middle of my 60 days.
Show me from your account. Just show me from your account, Miss Gonzalez. Show me from your account that you took out money. I understand that she doesn't have to bring proof because she doesn't have to prove anything to her account. But your check register is not proof of anything. I could write something down in a check register and never have
That's
check
true.
that.
That's correct.
Right. So show me.
I don't have that because I didn't think that they weren't disputing the fact that I actually...
I need it.
I don't have it, ma'am. I don't have that part. I don't have that.
Well, that's a big part. That's the main part of your lawsuit. It would seem to me that you would bring all of that information. It sure does. Now, let's get to the truck. When did you take physical possession of this truck?
When she was incarcerated. The reason I took it is because she had sold the truck to one of her tenants, and I happened to get the truck because she told my sister, I need the truck back and the expedition. So I went out of my way, brought her expedition back because, I mean, she didn't know what was going on with that. And
well, how could you take it back if you just told me she sold it to one of her tenants?
Because she told my sister that she didn't remember selling it to this one person. And he gave me the pink slip. He said, yes, Marty did sell it to me. Well, obviously she's saying no, he didn't want no problems.
So you're telling me that this tenant of Miss Gonzalez's said to you, here's the pink slip, she gave it to me. For the truck that we're talking about, which means he had to have given us some money.
Well, I believe so too, but Marty told my older sister she didn't sell him the truck.
Well, and how would he get the pink slip?
Exactly, that's what I say. Well,
how much did you get for this truck?
I didn't. One of my roommates...
No. Listen to me very carefully. In insurance.
$92.37.
What kind of truck was it?
It was a 95 Chevy double cab, four-wheel drive Silverado.
11 years old. Did you owe any money on it?
No, I didn't.
So you got $9,237, right? What do you want from your sister?
I'm not asking her for the money for the truck. She took my vehicle for 4 months without paying me any money, no rent.
You were only in jail for 2 months.
Correct. So she took my vehicle without my permission. She drove it. She had no car. So I think she should pay a rental fee. I never sold it to my roommate. You know, you don't always know the person 100% who you're renting a room to. So anyway, he was doing all kinds of dealings while I was incarcerated after the fact.
About it. I'm just trying to figure out who the players are in this case. And it's coming around very quickly who the players are.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Then why didn't you get it back?
I was in disarray myself, being incarcerated.
Miss Gonzalez, I don't think you've been in disarray for a minute in your life.
And later today...
You have to be drug tested in order to drive a truck.
Why do you think I'm on drugs?
You prepared to be drug tested today?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marty Gonzalez claims her sister, Myra Gonzalez, drove her truck without permission. Marty also says Myra owes for a loan to take a vacation.
You did not have a contract with your sister.
No, I did not.
You did not have a rental agreement with your sister.
No, I did not.
And there is not a question in my mind that her use of the car did not devalue it for insurance purposes. Because if she took your car without permission, right?
Correct.
And if you told the police that she took your car without permission, your insurance company might very well have disclaimed on the policy and not paid you your $10,000. So you must have indicated that there was somebody driving your car who had permission to drive it. It was your sister. Didn't you tell that to the insurance company?
No, I told them that she was driving it. One of her...
Just a second. You told them that she was driving it. And did you tell your insurance company, by the way, who's your insurance company?
Liberty Mutual.
Did you tell Liberty Mutual that it was your sister?
Yes.
Did you tell Liberty Mutual that you had filed a claim with the police that your car had been stolen or taken without your permission?
No, ma'am.
You didn't tell them that?
No.
Well, why didn't you tell them that if that's what you're telling me now? Why didn't you tell them that your car had been stolen, taken without your permission?
Well, I knew where it was, but it was still without my authority.
Then why didn't you get it back?
I was in disarray myself, being incarcerated.
Miss Gonzalez, I don't think you've been in disarray for a minute in your life. I think that you're in very much control of what goes on around you. You got paid almost $10,000 for this truck.
But that's to replace it, not for her renting of it.
She didn't rent it. You had no rental agreement with her. And you had adequate opportunity once you got out of jail after 60 days to get it back if you wanted it back. The case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My sister is used to taking advantage of people.
From day one, she's always been greedy.
And she goes around boasting about all the cheating.
It's just her way of being.
And lying that she does to other people.
It has to be her way or no way.
I loaned her the money. I was the only one there to loan her money.
She helped me out. I also helped her out when she was incarcerated.
And this is how I get treated. I don't get a dime back.
Even till this day, she hasn't even said, oh, thank you for coming down.
So since I was the good guy, then I guess I got to pay for it. Not once, but twice.
It's just a win-win situation always for her.
Oh, I don't want to have any dealings with her.
I have no idea. Time will tell.
I hate to say what I would tell her if I saw her right in front of my face.
Dr. Eric Schoenberg is suing pet shop owner Robert Meyer for selling him 4 diseased turtles. Eric says 3 of the turtles eventually died.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 288 on the calendar in the matter of Schoenberg versus Meyer. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Is it Dr. Schoenberg?
Yes.
Are you a physician?
Yes.
Dr. Schoenberg, I read in your complaint that you purchased some turtles from the defendant's pet shop.
Correct.
You purchased them in order to create a habitat for them in your home. I don't know how large they were, but within a relatively short period of time, they got sick and died. You believe that Mr. Meyer is responsible for not only the turtles, but also for the substantial veterinary bills that you had in order to try to treat them for an illness that you say they had when you got them from him. Mr. Meyer says he offered you your money back when he found out that there was a problem, but he's certainly not responsible for these astronomical veterinary bills that were racked up as a result of your desire to treat the animals. How large were these turtles?
Between 4 and 5 inches, length of the shell.
And how much did you pay for them?
$17.99 each.
Had you ever had turtles before?
Yes.
What happened to them?
I had them when I was about 10 years old, and I had caught them when I was at camp, and I kept them till I went to college, and then I gave them to the Turtleback Zoo, which was a nearby zoo where I lived in New Jersey.
And they survived?
Never had a problem, no illness, did beautifully.
Did you have had other pets other than turtles?
No.
Really?
Really.
Interesting. Tell me why.
I have a fascination with turtles for a few reasons. One, right now I find them inspiring because it helps me to slow down. They're very graceful in the water, but when they're on land, they're very slow and they just seem very pensive. And I find them very inspiring. They live over 50 years, typically, these turtles. So I think for children, they're nice in that sense that you can really get to know them. And they do have different personalities. They're not all the same. They do take on individual personalities.
Explain that to me.
Well, part of the way we name them is the way they behave. Some are more friendly, some are a little more aggressive. They each take on a little different way about it.
You know, I'm an animal lover, so I don't want you to take this as meaning any disrespect.
Sure.
Are they smart?
Well, I have my veterinarian to attest the fact that they're certainly not dogs or cats, but they do, and certainly...
I mean, there's a certain survival instinct that all animals have, so in that regard, they can survive. They look for water, they look for food, so okay, but...
They've been around a lot more than we have on this earth. Millions of years.
So have roaches.
That's true. Good. You got me there. But I really believe, and I'm sure if you ask most turtle lovers, they'll agree that they do take on different personalities, and they definitely do have a higher thought process, not as high as a dog, but higher than a roach.
I know that I'll probably get lots of mail about this because there are people that love every creature. In any event, when did you purchase the turtles?
May 27th, Memorial Day weekend, 2006.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
And how many turtles did you have in your shop?
8 or 9.
When had you gotten them?
About a week and a half prior to that.
From whom?
It's from a distributor. They're animal distributors. This one in particular was a reptile distributor.
When was the first sign that there was something untoward with the turtles?
Every day after work, I came home and fed them, so they were doing fine until June 5th. I built a large 8 by 12-foot enclosure for them outside, plenty of room to swim and sunbathe, which sunbathing is very important for them. And on June 5th, I went out to feed them, and I saw one of them convulsing in the water. So I immediately took that turtle out of the water, and I tried to find the other turtles, and at the time, I could only find one other. So I took the one that was convulsing plus that turtle, put him in a box, and I tried to call Mr. Meyer, but I could not get a hold of him. But I knew I had to do something quickly, because I know that turtles, if they get sick, it's something is critically wrong.
How do you know that?
Because I know they have a slow metabolism. It takes a while for them to show a problem, and I had them for 7 years, and they never showed any illness, so something like this obviously looked like, I can't mimic the motion, but it was an obvious convulsion.
Okay.
It looked like a seizure almost. And so I scrambled to try to find a veterinarian in my area who specialized in reptiles, or hopefully turtles. And fortunately, everybody who I called referred me over to Dr. Burgess's office. That's Dr. Burgess there.
Step up, sir. Dr. Burgess, June 5th, receive a call from Dr. Schoenberg, who ultimately brings over the 2 turtles to you. What do you find?
Well, he sounded pretty urgently concerned, so we had him come in right away. And both turtles had problems. What struck me, however, was the one that he was concerned about, which was Sammy, looked seriously ill. And this turtle, on physical exam, the thing that I noticed mostly was how extremely weak he was. And these are really feisty little turtles. They're not weak animals. And this kid was pretty much flat out. That's the biggest thing that concerned me right off the top. On closer inspection, I noticed something that the average observer probably wouldn't notice, and that was there were a bunch of discolored areas on the underside of the shell, which is typical of shell rot. The average observer might just think that's a normal color pattern because they have kind of blotchy colors anyway. But I was suspicious that it didn't look right, so I grabbed a small metal probe and was probing these areas, and they were soft. So I knew that there was infection dissolving away the underlying bone and shell. The 2 things you want to know about shell rot is, number 1, it's usually easily treated, but it can, if it goes on long enough, get into the bloodstream, the bacteria can. Then they become septic, and then they'll go down quick. They'll convulse, all their organs are infected, and you can actually lose some of those. The second thing about shell rot is you almost never see it unless the turtles are housed in improper situations. In fact, 95% of all reptile cases we see are poor husbandry related. Crowding, dirty water, too cool of temperatures, not enough ultraviolet light. There's a lot of ways that the turtles can be stressed and their immune system falters. Then they become prone to infections from things that a normal turtle would resist.
And how long does that process generally take?
As advanced as this case was, that takes weeks at least to occur, sometimes months. But to dissolve bone and shell away like that to that extent takes a while. And again, on the surface, they were very unimpressive lesions, easily overlooked. In fact, Eric, who was babying these turtles, didn't notice the lesions either until I pointed them out to him. It just is something you have to kind of know to look for. Doing it for 20 years, I knew to look for it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You got about 10 turtles from the wholesaler?
That's correct.
Are you under oath, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
How many of them survived?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dr. Eric Schoenberg claims pet shop owner Robert Meyer is responsible for selling him 4 diseased turtles. Eric says 3 of his pets suffered an untimely death.
Now, let me ask you this question, Dr. Burgess. If you had seen these turtles, say, a week before, would they have shown similar signs?
Probably, yes. As advanced as these were, there would have been lesions there a week earlier as well.
So they would have been visible to you, for instance, on the 28th of May.
Yes, they should have been.
Now, one of the turtles died when?
The sickest turtle, Sammy, died within 24 hours of us seeing it. I got it on antibiotics, but it just basically went down quick.
And the others?
He had a total of 4, one of which died at home. Of the other 2 that were alive after the first day, the second turtle died about 8 days after we started treating it. And again, this raised alarm bells because we have a high percentage of success rate even with advanced shell rot. And I knew he had them warm enough, he had them in good conditions, they should have been surviving. So we cultured the shell after the second one died and found out that they had 2 species of bacteria there, one of which was particularly difficult to treat. And we ended up having to do double antibiotic therapy for weeks to save the last one, and we actually did manage to save that one. We were using antibiotics by injection in all 4 legs because you can't inject the shell. And after weeks and weeks of double antibiotic injections, this turtle ended up, unfortunately, with severe damage to both front legs. So essentially, her right front leg is virtually useless. Her left front leg is partially paralyzed. So she's in need of special conditions just to pull herself out of the water. He had to build a ramp down in the water that's at a shallow angle because she can't pull herself out of the water to bask. She does have basically permanent damage, even though we healed the shell rot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, Dr. Schoenberg, when did you finally contact Mr. Mayer, and what did he say when you contacted him?
June 14th was the day the second one died.
Okay.
So it was that day that I finally made contact with him.
How many calls did you make to him?
It was probably about 5. I have the exact phone records.
Did you speak to anyone?
I spoke with a young woman there, and they said he's not around. I'll have him call you. Never a return call.
When was the first time you got a message from him, Mr. Mayer?
It was before the 14th. It was probably the 12th or the 13th. I was probably busy, and I don't know why I didn't get the phone message before the 12th.
When you got it on the 12th, did you call him right back?
I think I probably waited until the 14th and to get a hold of him.
When you sell an animal at your pet shop, Mr. Mayer, do you instruct people, please take the pet to a vet, have it checked out? You know, you give a money-back guarantee if something is wrong within 24 hours or 48 hours. Is that what you do?
We state that we have a 7-day health guarantee, depending, it's 7 to 14, depending on the type of animal. In this particular case, for reptiles, it's 7 days that we guarantee the animal.
Do you have a piece of paper that says that?
No, I got nothing in writing about that.
I didn't give him anything in writing, but it's stated at the time of purchase.
Who states it?
The person selling the turtle. In that
well,
case,
that's
it was
hearsay,
myself.
sir. What you're supposed to do is...
It was myself that sold the turtle to Mr. Schoenberg.
Did you tell him that there was a 7-day
Yes, I
health
did.
guarantee? You remember that?
Yes, I always say that. Whenever I sell an animal, I was the boss, and I employed teenagers, therefore I had to be very consistent with what I did.
But you are not there all the time.
That's correct.
And if you're not there all the time, that means that one of your teenage employees will be selling animals.
That's correct. But by setting precedents and by showing example with myself in the way I do it, and
what you have to do is put it in writing, Mr. Mayer.
I do have something that's filled out when somebody purchases an animal. In this case, it wasn't done, but in most cases it is.
You have to be consistent and done, Mr. Mayer.
That's correct.
So when you purchase an animal, and if you're giving a 7-day guarantee, then what you have to do is say, you have 7 days, take the animal to the vet, because that's where I'm going with my questions to the doctor, because he's already said that this situation would have presented itself had Mr. Schoenberg taken within 7 days the animals to a vet, had them checked out. He would have seen that there was something wrong with them. He would have had an option of returning them to you, and you would have given him his money back. Or if he chose to treat them, then the vet bill's on him. But if you're not told that you have that option of bringing it back, why aren't you responsible? And then you proceed, if this kind of situation, Mr. Mayer, comes from the wholesaler, not from you, but from the wholesaler, then you sue the wholesaler. While we're on that subject, you got about 10 turtles from the wholesaler?
That's correct.
Are you under oath, Mr. Mayer?
Yes.
How many of them survived?
After Mr. Schoenberg got in touch with me, I put a freeze on selling any of the turtles.
What did you do with them?
Well, I just stopped selling them until I
What
heard back.
did you, Mr. Mayer, let's not mince words, sir.
Sure.
What I want to know is what did you do with the other 6 turtles?
I had to close my store at the end of June, and so I adopted the rest of the turtles out, but all of them were alive.
All of them were alive when
Yes.
you adopted them out?
Yes.
Dr. Schoenberg, when you called Mr. Mayer and told him that this was a problem with your turtles, did he indicate to you any of the other turtles had a problem?
He didn't make any mention of the other animals. My wife felt like she wanted to adopt them and take care of them because she knew what was going to happen to them, because he indicated that his philosophy on animals, that is, if they become ill, he prefers euthanasia to treatment, even if the disease, as this one was, is completely treatable with antibiotics. This was not a terminal disease.
Mr. Schoenberg stated it incorrectly. What my philosophy on animals was that he stated that I should that euthanasia is the key. If it's deemed that it's more of a business decision, in my case, that if the animal is going to cost $700 or $1,000 to fix, and it's a $17.99 turtle, I can't stay in business and do that. And so I would not want to, but have to euthanize the turtles.
Dr. Schoenberg, Mr. Mayer says that he got these pets about a week and a half before you purchased them. Your expert says that this particular kind of disease, to have advanced to this point, can sometimes take months. Is that right, sir?
Usually weeks, occasionally months, yeah.
Well, Dr. Burgess, let's step up for one more second, sir. I'm going to pin you down.
Okay.
Sometimes it can take months.
Yes.
And sometimes it can take weeks.
Yes.
Could it take 1 week?
Not as advanced as this was.
When you saw the 4th turtle, was it ill?
Yes.
And you could tell right away?
From the shell, yes.
But when you saw the first turtle that was so ill, you couldn't tell from the outside that there was a very severe strain of bacteria that required a different kind of antibiotic.
Not just at a glance, nobody can tell.
Dr. Schoenberg, you went to the pet store and saw the habitat where they were living.
Yes.
And I must assume that as an intelligent and medically trained person, you would not have purchased these turtles were the habitat conditions unclean, unsanitary, looking unhealthy. They looked fine to you.
They looked adequate to me.
No. Let's not play. They looked fine to you, or you would not have purchased them and then invested in the habitat. Come on, let's not play.
Absolutely right.
Okay. Now, I would assume that you could not tell when you took the turtles home, at least from the 27th of May, according to you, until June 5th, that there was anything wrong with these turtles.
Correct.
Why do you ascribe something more to Mr. Meyer?
I have records here from animal control that show that there was a lot going on in his pet store that I didn't know about. And if you would like to see those documents, I'd be happy to share them with you that show the kind of conditions that were there that perhaps I didn't see that day. I just was focused on turtles, and I went right in.
I'm just interested in turtles.
Yes.
I'm not interested in whether he's a good husband, a bad father, a good son, a good nephew, whether he does other things. You saw the turtles.
Yes.
I mean, he didn't take the turtles out at night and put them in the toilet. He left them in the same conditions that you saw them in.
I don't know that.
Which were clean conditions. Well, he doesn't look like a nut. And nuts would have taken them out of a clean condition and put them in a dirty condition. For what purpose? That sounds ridiculous. So let's see what we have, Dr. Schoenberg. We have a medically trained man, buys the turtles, looks as if they're being kept and maintained in a perfectly adequate habitat. You don't see anything wrong with them. No signs of illness. According to you, they were playful and they were eating, appeared perfectly normal. So you are really asking him not to give you back the money for these turtles. You believe he is responsible for the veterinary bills, which were $2,200.
Actually, the veterinary bills were $1,400. The other amount of money is to get special housing for the turtle inside to take care of her since she's handicapped. Otherwise, I would have
Well,
housed
that's
her.
another decision that you made, Dr. Schoenberg. You made that decision. Certainly, if you were a Darwinist, you would have said, maybe this little turtle, unfortunately, doesn't want to live for the next 50 years, having to pull herself out of the water because she's paralyzed in one leg and partially paralyzed in another. That's a decision that you made, and I can't fault you for that decision, but you can't visit that on Mr. Meyer. I mean, I'm an animal lover, and I would, quite frankly, love to look at Mr. Meyer and paint him as the devil if he sold animals that he knew were ill. But I guarantee you, Mr. Meyer is not an expert in turtles. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's a very limited interest base. Dr. Burgess, what was your initial visit for the sick turtle?
It would have been probably 150 at most, I would think. And
150?
That was for two turtles.
And for the two turtles. And then he brought you a third one.
Yeah.
And a fourth one.
Fourth one had died on the premises. I never saw the fourth one.
You saw three. You saved one.
Yes.
Three died. Anything you want to say to me, Mr. Meyer?
I'm an animal lover myself, and I'm sorry for the turtles that have died, but in a business I can't control whether someone goes outside of my vision and treats an animal.
Mr. Mayor, if I had any inkling that you had prior knowledge that these turtles were ill when you sold them, my decision here would have been totally different. But I think that Dr. Schoenberg, with his medical expertise and his expertise in these particular kinds of reptiles, if he couldn't tell that there was anything wrong with them for at least 10 days, then I can't fault you. But you are responsible for the initial visits for pets. That's $150 each. That's $300. And the cost of them are $54. Yes.
I'd like to say that I got these animal control records. There were 17 complaints. One of them was that he housed different reptiles together. So there's every indication that there was definitely animal neglect on his part, indicating that he was not treating the animals humanely, including reptiles. And now if you house reptiles, turtles with lizards, or mixing
Did you
them up.
see the turtles housed with lizards?
I didn't, but he could have done it when I wasn't there.
Well, Dr. Schoenberg, doesn't sound right to me. Doesn't sound like it's common sense that you have a habitat for lizards and you have a habitat for turtles. And after everybody leaves the store, you take the time to put them all together in an unsanitary condition. That doesn't make sense, Dr. Schoenberg. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $354. That's all. Thank you.
I think really the big picture of this case was not about the money. It was about the principle that an animal is a precious life.
I think Mr. Schoenberg had expectations that were beyond what is reasonable.
This was not a terminal illness. This was an infection that clearly could have been treated with some simple antibiotics.
I am an animal lover. All of the animals that were in my care were under good good care.
These animals were worth saving. Turtles, I know, maybe are not dogs to most people, but to me they're very precious.
That was the reason I got into the business in the first place, was because I did love animals.
It's buyer beware, and perhaps, you should do a background check when you're purchasing animals.
Just keep records of the people who purchase animals and make sure that they have signed statements.
I kind of had trust that if the store was open and left open by the government, that it was considered safe and clean, but I guess not.
Christine Paget is suing her ex-boyfriend, Owen Plaster, for the return of money paid toward his rent and bills. Owen says Christine is not entitled to the money in question.
All rise. Now it's case number 77 on the calendar in the matter of Paget versus Plaster. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Paget, how long were you and Mr. Plaster involved in a relationship?
About 8 years.
And for what period of those 8 years did you live together?
We lived together most of them, but because of our work, we traveled a lot. So a lot of times I was in New York, but we shared the house in Phoenix.
Okay. When was the house in Phoenix purchased?
1997.
And you were living together at the time?
Yes.
Did you move into the house together?
Yes.
House was in your name?
Yes.
And both of you were working?
Yes.
So finances were not an issue when you lived together?
No.
All right. This is your case, Ms. Paget. After this on-again, off-again relationship, it was on for 8 years and then it was off for a while. And then the two of you, according to what I read, tried to rekindle the relationship, and you had sold the house.
Yes.
And Mr. Plaster took an apartment. According to you, you didn't want to be bothered with paying half of the rent monthly, so that you prepaid the entire year or 14 months lease to Mr. Plaster so that you didn't have to be bothered.
Exactly.
And shortly after you gave him this check, Mr. Plaster advised you that he had somebody else and he wanted you out.
Yes.
So you want that money back.
Correct.
Mr. Plaster says that that money was not for half the rent. Mr. Plaster says that the two of you had an agreement during the time that you moved into this house together, that he contributed to the house, including the mortgage payment while he was living there, something that you agree with, and that you had an agreement that when the house was sold, you would split whatever increased equity there was during the time that you were living together, since he was, in fact, reducing the mortgage with his mortgage payment and paying half the bills on the house, so that what you were really doing when you gave him this check was keeping your promise to give him some of the equity in the house. That's your defense.
Yes.
And you have a counterclaim because you say that when she did move out, she did some vandalizing in the house and took some property that was actually yours. You want that property back and you want some compensation for the vandalism. In 1997, Ms. Paget, when you purchased the house, what did you purchase the house for? You remember the purchase?
$108,000.
And what did you sell it for?
I sold it for $236,000.
When did you sell it?
October 2005.
And when did you give Mr. Plaster this check for the rent?
Well, actually, it was bank transfers from my bank account into his bank account. When we decided to rent this apartment, and
just tell me, what date did you give him the check?
I deposited money on 10/11
05
for $6,000, and then on 10/24 for another $1,000.
Also in October of 2005. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I assume that when you lived together for these 8 years, you had some sort of a discussion about what was going to happen with the equity in the house.
Absolutely.
And what was the discussion?
Exactly right, as you said. However, the important part of that story that was left out was that he moved out of the house in January 2005. Had he stayed with me till October 2005, I probably would have honored that agreement. But at the time when he moved out to move in with a friend of his, I asked him, because he was already living in another bedroom, and I had asked him to please stay on as a roommate, help me sell the house. I didn't have a job at the time. You know, you're putting me in dire straits if you move out. Stay with me. Let's get the house sold. Your daughter's getting married. We can take care of this. I said, if you leave, you're not getting nothing, because you're leaving me in dire straits, and I have to maintain the residence for 10 months until I sold it by myself with no job. I had to get roommates to help me, organize.
Well, I understand your problem, Ms. Paget. However, you cannot unilaterally change a contract, which is what you told me you had. You had a contract with Mr. Plaster that seems perfectly reasonable to me, that since the two of you had a financial arrangement where each of you was contributing to this household and reducing the mortgage, you were living together as a family, it is perfectly reasonable to have had the contract that you acknowledged that you had, that when and if the house was sold, you would give him, because he had been paying into the house, a portion of the profit from the house.
Yes.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yes.
Now, the fact that he decided to move out and you said to him, if you move out, I'm not going to honor that contract, doesn't mean that that happens. Unless he says, well, fine, I'm moving out anyway, and I agree that you don't have to honor the contract. But that's not what happened.
That is what happened.
No. No, that's not what you told me.
No, that
you
is what
told me.
happened.
Now listen to me. What you told me was you said to him, if you move out,
right,
I'm not going to honor our agreement.
And he agreed.
No,
and
you said he moved out anyway.
Right.
Well, that's not agreeing with you, madam. He just left. That's not saying I agree that you don't have to honor the contract. He just says, I'm leaving anyway. So while he does not have a counterclaim for that, I am finding that the money that you gave him was for the contract that you had with him for the 8 years that you lived together in this house that you sold, and that you sold for a substantial profit. You more than doubled your money. He paid down the mortgage, and he should be entitled to a portion of that. So, has he sued you on the contract that you had to give him half the profits of the house?
No.
Well, he should.
Because it was agreed that we didn't.
No. Listen to me. I don't believe that at all. And I'm telling you that if he doesn't sue you for half the profits on the house, consider yourself really lucky that I'm speaking. Consider yourself, Miss Paget, really lucky, because if he sued you in a court where I was sitting that had a much higher jurisdiction than the $5,000 I have, I would find that you had a contract with him that he fulfilled by contributing to the house for the 8 years that you lived together, and that you cannot unilaterally breach that contract because you didn't want him to leave and leave you in the lurch for 10 months. I might do something equitable, like cutting 10 months' worth of the mortgage payments out and carving that out of his share of the profits. But I'm telling you right now, for the $6,000 that you gave him, you got away with a bargain. I wouldn't complain. Now I'm going to hear your counterclaim. Go ahead.
This is a case of a woman scorn.
Listen, don't tell me what it's about, sir. Don't tell me what a case is about, sir. I'm asking you whether you have a legitimate counterclaim that you want me to hear, or whether you just want to forget it.
Well, once I let her know that I was seeing someone else, she came to get her things, and I gave her a few days in the apartment to get her stuff out. And when I returned, I've got photographs of the vandalism.
I'd like to see the photographs, Bert, please.
And I've got lots of notes that were left and taped on the walls, just crazy things all over the place. Doors were written on, mirrors were written on, photographs stapled to the walls, photographs torn up, my guitars and other property just thrown everywhere. All of my things that were in boxes were dumped in bathtubs and in closet floors, along with half-eaten hamburgers and just
She was
trash.
very angry.
She was very angry.
How much did it cost you to clean it up?
It was very difficult to clean it up.
My question was, I saw the pictures, sir. How much did it cost you to clean up the apartment?
Nothing, just my own time.
So it took your time. Show these photographs to the plaintiff, please. Mr. Plaster, just for my own information, sir, why did you allow Miss Paget to move her things into the apartment if you were seeing someone else?
I started seeing someone else after her things were in the apartment.
Not before?
Correct. We moved into the apartment, but she moved to New Jersey, so she only stayed a few days in the apartment at all.
Well, she was sort of hoping that things would work out between you, I assume, which is why she moved her things into the apartment. She didn't move into the apartment for storage purposes. Why'd you trash the apartment?
Because he just didn't face me. And I just would like to say something about the mortgage. He did not contribute to the mortgage every month.
Miss Paget.
He
Miss
didn't.
Paget, I got the information from the two of you before I started to hear your case. And that was that the two of you lived together peacefully for 8 years. You seem like an intelligent woman. You both worked. According to the both of you, each of you contributed to the running of the household, and that money was never an issue. And being an intelligent woman, myself, I have to assume that if he wasn't paying his fair share of the house, you wouldn't have kept him around for 8 years. What I'm telling you is the law says just because you say the agreement is over doesn't make it over.
But he moved out.
I don't care whether he moved out. Miss Paget, I'm going to try one more time, and then I'm not going to hear any more from you. Let us say he wasn't ready to move out of the house, but you were ready to sell it. Do you think you could have sold the house without his permission?
Absolutely.
Of course, because the house is in your name.
Correct.
He's not a slave. He can move if he wants to. That doesn't mean that when you sell the house, he's not entitled to, up until the time he moved out, a portion of the increase in the value of the house, because that was your agreement. Now, you have no right to do what you did. here. And he has to be compensated for that, even his time.
I paid for the security deposit on the apartment and all the first month's rent.
No, just a second. In addition to the $6,000 that you gave him, you wrote a check right out to the landlord?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
How much?
Well, the monthly rent was $1,100 and something a
So it was
month.
at least $1,100.
So it was at least $1,100
Okay,
plus
now
security deposit was.
Is that in addition to the $6,000?
Yes.
Well, then, sir, you can use that $1,100, but you're going to get back to clean up the apartment. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. It's over. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He wouldn't face me,
She had moved to New York.
just talk to me in person.
You know, I was in a new relationship,
He did it via email.
and I let her know.
It was very sad. I felt like I was put out with the trash.
And it is sad, and I wish it could have worked.
24-year-old Heidi Huntley is suing her ex-boyfriend, 26-year-old Eric Huntley, for his share of credit card debt and for damage he caused to her car.
All rise. Now it's case number 333 on the calendar in the matter of Huntley versus Huntley.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Huntley, the defendant is your former boyfriend. You've been together for quite some time, I assume, and you have one child together.
Yes.
Your complaint is that when you broke up, Mr. Huntley agreed that he would take over half of the credit card debt. He made a couple of payments and then stopped. You also claimed that he used a car that belonged to you and caused some damage to the car and vandalism to the car. You want him to take care of that. Mr. Huntley said he walked out of the house, leaving you in the house with your child. How old is your child?
My son is 7.5.
And he left with his clothes, and that's it. Everything that was purchased on that credit card remains in the house, and he doesn't see why in the world he should pay for it.
Yes.
And with regard to the car, his defense is that any vandalism that was done to the car was paid out by your insurance from an act of vandalism that had nothing to do with him, and you chose not to have the car fixed, but to pocket the insurance money, and therefore he's not paying for it because you already got paid for it, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Good. You lived together from when to when?
February of 2003 until October 8th of 2006.
When and why did you leave, Mr. Huntley?
The relationship just didn't work out. It was an agreed upon thing. It wasn't like I just stormed out. I mean, both of
Okay,
us
so you
were
agreed. So it
unhappy.
was a civilized, orderly
Yes.
arrangement.
We were both unhappy.
What arrangement did you make, Mr. Huntley, with regard to the debt?
I had been paying pretty much all of the, I mean, I had a full-time job and I was going to school, making financial aid and some scholarships, and that was all going to bills while she was only going to school for about 4 years. When I left, I was still paying the credit card bills, but it didn't take a long time to figure out that what was going on was it was an attempt to make sure I didn't have enough money to survive, and I couldn't. Right now, she's living in a 2-bedroom house with hardwood floors, with 2 cars in the driveway. She's got a college degree. I think she's had a job for a little while. I'm sleeping on my dad's couch.
The credit card bills were how much?
We have $38,000 in credit card debt over the course of our 3-year relationship. He'd been paying half the payment on all of the 5 cards, and I had also been paying half a payment on a card that is only in his name, on not my name at all. Our credit cards have both of our names. We're both joint signers on these cards. We just made the arrangement that, you know, hey, you would pay half and I would pay half the minimum payment, and that went on until September. And in September, he told me, I need to save for my own place. I have a new girlfriend, or October, I have a new girlfriend. I just bought a new truck after I lost $1,500 selling our truck that was in joint of our names. And I don't have the money to pay it. So you're just going to have to deal with it yourself. It's not my problem.
Well, you have to deal with it, and he has to deal with it, because if they're joint credit cards, they're going to come after both of you.
Absolutely.
So, what are you doing in court? Here.
He won't pay the credit card.
They're going to come after him. They'll attach your salary, they'll attach his salary.
Well, Your Honor, I have a credit score of 760. His credit score is now 720, but when we met, it was in the 500s and mine was in the 700s. And
Miss Huntley, how many years since 2003 were you employed?
None of those years was I legally employed.
Well, you're not going to stand here in court and tell me you were illegally employed.
I went to school and I had scholarship funds. I had 8 different scholarships, of which I got about $2,800 a month take-home cash.
That you don't have to pay back?
I do have loans. I have student loans.
Of
but
course you do.
Some
So
of that
the
I do
answer
not
is
have to pay back.
the answer is you did not work. He worked. He provided for the household while you were living together. You have to remember, folks, you're not married. We don't have courts in this country for almost marrieds living together, trying it out. We don't have courts for that. If this was a marital situation, I would have no problem. I would say, listen, you have credit card debt, you're responsible for half, and you're responsible for half. That's it. Goodbye and good luck. But that's not the case. The truth of the matter is that if you have $38,000 worth of credit card debt from 2003 in February until 2006 in October, he paid the credit cards.
No, he didn't. He was unemployed for 6 months of that time straight.
Well, you
And
were
we lived
unemployed
off
for
of
4
credit
years.
cards.
Somebody had to pay for
But
these
I wasn't
cars.
unemployed. I brought home $2,800 a month every month,
What'd you do
except
with it?
for July and August.
What did you do with it?
I paid as many bills as he did: car payments, credit card payments, food, clothing.
All
kinds of stuff.
It's very, very interesting, Miss Hundley. I have no idea how you did that because I educated a whole bunch of kids, and nobody ever gave them $2,800 a month in cash in addition to what they were getting. So you got some kind of gig going here that probably the rest of the civilized world would like to know about.
I have a 3.8 GPA, and I'm an engineering student, and I volunteer 170 hours a year.
Fabulous. What do you want me to do? You want me to say to him what you should do is pay half the bills?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll say to him what you do should be half the bills. Be nice if you paid half the bills. That's a moral judgment. These bills are in both of your names, and eventually the credit card companies who have advanced to you foolishly $38,000 in credit card expenses are going to come after both of you for the return of this money.
Your Honor, I'm making the payments because I understand how important credit is. I would like to go on with my life.
And
I'm making the payments regardless of whether he is.
Don't you, Mr. Huntley?
I do, but I only have so much money, and it's getting to the point where I have to choose.
Are you paying child support?
Yes.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, he has not paid child support, and he has not made a payment on any credit cards since August.
Requested to make child support payments 2 weeks ago by the state.
Mr. Huntley, requested by whom?
The state.
The state, because he wouldn't pay it.
I was never asked to pay it.
Just a second.
I've been paying all these other bills.
Listen, you may be angry. You may be angry. I don't know what you're angry about. I don't know. The truth of the matter is I really don't know what you're angry about. I was going to jump down his throat when he said I was never asked to pay it, because that's not an answer. When you have a child, you're supposed to pay child support. You don't have to be asked by anybody to pay child support. Child has to eat. Both parents are responsible for that. How much are you paying in child support?
$200 a month right now.
$200 a month is not a lot of money, Mr. Huntley.
No, it's not. At the time when I was requested to make child support payments, my paychecks are $800 or $900, and she asked for $600 or $700 every 2 weeks for bills.
Well, you can't do that and pay child support.
I can't do that and
I
pay
haven't
child
asked
support.
for child support until he stopped paying on the bills.
Oh, well, but just a second. But then you did.
I only want what's fair. I only want half of our debt.
Miss Huntley, what you have to do, my dear, if you want half the debt, is you have to get married. That's what happens. That's what happens. Otherwise, you're coming into court, and there is no jurisdiction that I know of for almost marrieds. He can't pay half the credit card bills and the child support order that should be a lot more than $200 a month, quite frankly, Mr.
And it will be. I put an appeal to have it raised to $640 is what he's going to end up paying, which is just enough to cover the minimum payments on the credit cards.
Well, then you shouldn't have made such extensive credit card purchases. What do you want from me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You chose to live without benefit of marriage. I don't know why. Maybe it had to do with your scholarships. I'm not sure. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to figure it out.
And later today,
if I believe what you're telling me, which I don't, your mother stole the money that you were giving her, and therefore they repossessed your car and you wanted to get it back.
That's the truth.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 24-year-old Heidi Huntley claims ex-boyfriend Eric Huntley owes for half of their credit card debt.
Now, the two of you chose not to get married. You chose for whatever economic reason to live without benefit of marriage. I don't know why. Maybe it had to do with your scholarships. Maybe it had to do with something else. I'm not sure. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to figure it out. But if you chose to do that, you can't come to court and say, listen, now you have to go through our assets and liabilities. If I were to go through your assets, if I were to go into your home, Miss Huntley, and look at what you have in your home, would anything in your home be the product of the purchases that were made on these credit cards?
Some things.
And did Mr. Huntley take any things out of the home when he left other than his clothes and personal effects?
No, but some of those things were also on these credit cards.
No, just a second. I don't care. I'm talking about his clothes and personal effects. I'm not talking about beds and refrigerators or washer dryers or anything else that it goes to set up a household.
No, I kicked him out and he took nothing.
Right. Well, then you pay the bill. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She wants to make sure that I can't live a successful life without her. I mean, it's either come back to her or be miserable.
Tina Smoot is suing ex-boyfriend John Bambino for a loan she made him while he was between jobs. John claims Tina manipulated him with her money.
All rise. This is case number 515 on the calendar in the matter of Smoot versus Bambino. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Smoot, you and the defendant were dating, according to your complaint, and you loaned him some money.
Yes.
Mr. Bambino acknowledges that you gave him money, but he said it was just that. It was a gift. There was no indication when you gave him this money that you expected repayment of the money. You were sort of helping him out at a time that he needed to be helped out financially. He's counterclaiming because he says that in a fit of rage, you damaged his car, his clothes, and he also believes that you harassed him. That's his counterclaim. So tell me when you met him.
I met him in August of last year.
And when did you lend him the money?
In December of last year.
Tell me about it.
John had lost his job and he couldn't pay his rent.
When did he lose the job?
November.
What kind of job did you have, Mr. Bambino?
Car salesman, ma'am.
How long did you have that job with that company?
7 months.
Before that, where did you work?
As a correction officer for the state of New Jersey.
How long were you working there?
15 years.
Go ahead.
In December, I was coming into some money through a lawsuit, and I had extra money, and, you know, he asked me to lend him his rent money for the month of December, and that's what it was. I lent him the money.
How much was it?
It was $1,200.
$1,200 for rent. Go ahead.
And one bill is $452.07.
What was that for?
A home entertainment system.
Who bought a home entertainment
that
system?
I bought for him, that he was supposed to pay me back for.
No. Miss Smoot, listen to me carefully. If somebody doesn't have money to pay his own rent, then you don't buy him a home entertainment center and expect him to pay you back. You're not a baby, right?
Right, Your Honor.
What else?
Cable bill, $100. I have a check that he wrote, that I gave him a blank check to take to the doctors that has his name in the memo for $80.
Did she give you a blank check to pay a doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
What else?
A gas bill for $100 in December.
$100 even?
Well, it was, his gas bill is way more than that, but I only paid $100 on it.
Go ahead.
2 checks for food, one for $87.40 and one for $42.71.
Made out to whom?
To Acme.
Did you use those 2 checks?
No, I wrote them.
He doesn't know you for that.
Okay.
What else?
That's it.
Okay, Mr. Bambino. Ball is in your court, sir. Where are you working now?
Chevrolet 73.
So you're back to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So Ms. Smoot says that you said, if you pay my rent, as soon as I get a job, I'll pay you back. You say that's not true. Tell me what happened, Mr. Bambino. By the way, how old are you, sir?
43.
Have you been married?
Yes, ma'am.
You have children?
I have 2 daughters.
How old are they?
17 and 24.
When did you last live with them?
I have custody of my younger. Actually, I've had custody of both since my divorce in '98. I have custody of my youngest now.
So how are you supporting the children?
My mother helps me out, but I mean, I just ran into a tough time between, like, let's say the Monday before Thanksgiving, and I started my new job January 5th.
Right.
So it was approximately 6 weeks.
So what you're telling me is your mother helps you out.
She helped me out in that particular time frame, yes, in the beginning of January.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I met Tina, as she said, in the middle of August. We started the date.
Would you try looking at me
sorry, yes,
rather than
ma'am,
keeping
sure.
your eyes closed? It's disrespectful.
I'm sorry. I met her in the middle of August at a club over in Philadelphia. Approximately 2 weeks later, she accused me of staring at a woman on the track. She told me to get in her Jeep. She started to give me a ride, which was the ride from hell. She just started driving down the interstate, doing approximately 70, 75 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic.
But after that, you took money from her.
No, well, ma'am, it's...
Listen to me. After that, you took money from her, so I'm not interested in a ride
I didn't
from
take
hell.
money.
Yes, you did.
She gave me the money, ma'am.
That's not what I said. I said you took money from her.
Yes.
After the ride from hell, which would have put me in a different county from somebody like that, you took money from her.
Yes.
Right. Did you think that the story you were going to tell me was going to make you a sympathetic character?
Not at all.
Good. Let's get to the money. Come on.
Oh, well, after several pretty bizarre things that Tina pulled between September and December, I tried cutting off the relationship several times. Tina's texts me 15, 20 times a day, calls me, begs me to let her back into our relationship, start our relationship over.
Is this your child?
No, ma'am. She's a witness in this factor. Tina, I let back in approximately 7, 8 times between September 1st all the way up to the February 11th. She just constantly says I'm cheating on her.
You want to know something? You want to tell the sad story? Go on Dr. Phil. Right. I want to know about the money.
The money. Tina would manipulate things and try to get me to let her back in. And after 3 or 4 weeks of constant texting me every day and please begging me to let her come back and start the relationship over, I did it several times. Tina...
Bambino, listen to me carefully. Get to the money.
I am.
In December, she may be desperate and she may find something about you attractive. Mr. Bambino, I do not.
I know that.
You are 43 years old. You look every day of it.
I know.
And then some. And Mr. Bambino, and then some. I have children who are 43 years old, sir. That's not you. That's the first thing. Second thing is, let's get to the money in December. Excuse me, you date him?
No.
Perfect. Get to the money.
All right, I let Tina come back over in early December. She laid $1,200 on my couch and said, pay your bills with this. I don't care when you give it back to me, just pay your bills. She insisted. I did pay. I paid my rent with it, of course. The other things, utilities, she paid $100 for the heating bill.
Mr. Bambino, how do you think Miss Smoot knew that you didn't pay your utility bills and that you didn't pay your rent? How do you think?
By communicating
By you
with
telling
me.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that kind of casual conversation that inspired her to leave the $1,200 on the table for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah. And it was at that time that you were concerned about her bizarre behavior that she exhibited 6 or 7 times.
Over that 6-month frame, yes.
Now, you were a corrections officer for 15 years, sir. You knew that there were certain prisoners that were dangerous,
Sure.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were dealing with a dangerous prisoner, there were certain protocols. You made sure that you didn't put yourself in harm's way. That was your training, right?
Absolutely.
So here you're dealing with a lunatic, somebody who over the course of 6 or 7 months is doing crazy, bizarre things. So instead of cutting it off, you know where the courthouse is. So if you know if somebody is stalking you, somebody is annoying you, you go to the courthouse and you say, this person is stalking me, annoying me, I need a protective order. Instead, you had somebody stalking you, you took their money. No. You took their money. I didn't say loan, I didn't say gift, I said you took their money. Well, you did, you just told me that, Mr. Bambino. You told me she was stalking you, harassing you, doing all kinds of bizarre things, and she put $1,200 down on the table, and she paid your bills, and you took it. That's what you just told me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have to be a nice man, Mr. Bambino.
A very nice man.
No, you're not. If she's a nut, what you're supposed to do is not be a cad.
And later today...
Did you say to your daughter, listen, you did me a favor, I'll take care of getting the car inspected, tagged. Did you say that to her?
No,
That's what a mother does. That's what a mother does.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tina Smoot claims ex-boyfriend John Bambino owes for a loan to help with his living expenses. John is countersuing for harassment and claims Tina intentionally damaged his property.
Okay. Now, it is your claim, Mr. Bambino, your counterclaim, that the plaintiff damaged your property, harassed you, and damaged your clothing. You want to tell me when that happened and where?
First week in November, Tina was going to North Carolina for a wedding.
And when did she give you the money, sir?
December.
On a sympathy scale, sir, of 1 to 10, this is about going to be a -5, because what you're going to tell me is that she, again, acted like a nut, but you took money from her the next month, right?
Yes.
Keep going.
She told me she would let me borrow her Jeep. I dropped off my friend's automobile that I was using at the time, which was a female friend of mine for 18 years. Tina, in the process, went in the glove box and found out who the car belonged to. She took a pen and ripped the whole roof of the inside of the car, ripped the leather on the seats, took a soda and threw it all over my clothes in the back. That's the incident in November.
Why did you do that, Tina?
I didn't go to that extreme.
What did you... Tina.
What happened?
Why did you do it?
I didn't do that, Your Honor.
Yes, you did. You did some of it.
I called him and told him to bring my Jeep.
What did you do to the stuff in the car?
I poured soda on his clothes, that was all.
You poured soda on his clothes. Is there a police report with regard to the damage to this friend's car?
No, ma'am, but I have pictures.
It's not your car.
It's not my car.
Did you fix the car?
Not yet.
Then you're not the person who can file this claim against Miss Smoot. That would be the car owner.
Yes, ma'am.
And as far as throwing soda on your clothes?
So what?
You owe her $1,480. You have to be a nice man, Mr. Bambino.
I'm a very nice man.
No, you're not. If she's a nut, you're not supposed to take advantage of people who are not balanced. If you actually believe that Miss Smoot is not balanced, then what you're supposed to do is not be a cad and take advantage of her financially. You're supposed to say, I don't want your money. I don't want it as a gift. I don't want it as a loan. I don't want you in my life. I don't want that at all because I don't think you're balanced. I think that you should take this money and use it well by going to see a doctor who will maybe give you some medication to help you feel better. Instead, what you did is you took advantage of her because you're not a nice person. Nice people don't take advantage of sick people. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,480. Your counterclaims dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was all a big joke. To him, anyhow.
That's totally not the case. It's totally not the case.
She thinks that something's going on between us. We're just co-workers. She's a little insane. She needs some medicine.
That's what she thinks.
I feel bad because she's not a bad person. She's got 2 beautiful daughters.
First of all, I don't have 2 daughters. I have a daughter and a son.
I'm not going to date women ever again.
I will never let anybody take advantage of me again.
I'm going to do a background check and, do what I got to do.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Breeden versus Strybee. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Michelle Breeden is suing her mother, Ollie Strybee, for breaking their agreement regarding the sale of a home. Michelle says Ollie kept proceeds that were supposed to go to her.
Ms. Breeden, the defendant is your mother. You and your husband and child or children?
2 children.
2 children. Moved into a home that your mother bought, and the idea was that you would live there with an option to buy it. At such a time when your credit became substantial enough for you to get a mortgage and your finances sort of settled down. While you were living there, you claimed that you made certain improvements in the house, invested close to $4,000. And then, according to you, your mother decided that since the housing market had taken off, she was no longer interested in selling you the house at the price that she had paid for it, which was your agreement. But she wanted to sell it on the open market, which she did at a profit, and you believe that she should pay you for the money that you invested in improving the house.
Yes, sure.
That's the lawsuit.
Yes.
Your mother says that you and your husband, was it your husband, separated. You were no longer interested in purchasing the house. You moved out. She did, in fact, sell the house at a profit, but it is her claim that you were the one who told her, I can't buy the house anymore because we're separated. So she sold the house to somebody else. When did you purchase this house, Miss Strybee?
In April 2004.
And how much did you pay for it?
$102,500.
And what was the financial arrangement with your daughter with regard to how much rent she was going to pay?
She agreed to pay the mortgage payment on the house.
Which was how much, Miss Breeden?
It was just shy of $900, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like you to tell me when you were advised by your mother that she was planning on selling the house.
I was advised about 6 months prior to moving out that she was going to sell the house because she was no longer interested in selling us the house at what she paid for it. She was interested in making a profit off of us and wanted to sell the home to us for nearly $160,000.
That wasn't the original
Just a
agreement.
second. Did you discuss that with your mother? You said you found out. Did you have a conversation with her?
Yes, I had a conversation with Ollie. I told her that I couldn't make payments on $160,000, so we decided that we were no longer going to buy it because she wanted so much more for it.
Okay. Now, what was your arrangement with your mother at the time she purchased the house?
When she purchased the house, she was going to let us move into it. We were going to cover the mortgage for 1 year, and then after 1 year, we were going to try to get our finances in a situation that we could get appropriate financing.
And what happened in 2005?
Right after my second child was born, we went in to get a mortgage. It was not satisfactory. We discussed renting it longer from her. That was fine with her. A couple months into 2005, she was trying to buy another home for herself. So she discussed selling the home if we could not buy it from her. I said, well, we've already put nearly $4,000 worth of our own money into it. And if you sold it, I would at least like to get that money back out of it to use as a down payment if we chose to move somewhere else. That was fine with her. We moved out the end of February, and she put the house on the market in March. It took her till November 1st to sell the home.
Gotcha.
When she sold the home, I came to her halfway through November, and she said something about she didn't want to discuss it through the holidays, so I came back to her at the beginning of January of 2007. By that time, she said that she didn't have the money and that she thought that since she had to pay the mortgage from the time we moved out to the time it sold, that she believed she no longer owed us the amount that we were asking for.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we'll hear you.
Michelle and her husband were expecting their second child and living in a hotel. And although Michelle and my husband doesn't get along very well, I didn't want them to be living in a hotel when the second child.
So you
we
made this
bought
arrangement.
this house for them.
Got it.
The arrangement was that she would pay the mortgage payment for the year.
I got it so far. There are certain things that are not contested. You were a nice mom, bought the house, let them live in it, cover the mortgage payment, and then there came a time when you wanted to buy another house. You couldn't buy another house because you already had this house. So let's go.
The arrangement was for her to buy the house at the end of a year. I told her I'd give her a year.
She
So
said that.
at the end of that year, she didn't have her finances
Got it.
fixed.
Got it. That's what you said.
So her husband had moved out. She said that she couldn't afford to make the payments anymore with him paying for someplace else to live, and that she was fine with me going ahead and putting the house on the market, and that they would move out. Our original agreement for the year was at the end of the year, if I sold her the house, I would credit her how much she's paid for the mortgage, so that would cover her 10% down she needed to buy it herself.
I'm talking about the $3,900 that your daughter says you discussed at the time she moved out, that she had invested in improving the house, and that you had said to her, the time when the house is sold, I'll give that back to you.
I don't remember that conversation, not when she was moving out. I only discussed with her when we first bought the house that any improvements she made in the house at that time, if she didn't buy the house, I would pay her back for it at the end of the year.
Oh, fine. So that discussion was had. Fine. Let me see what you put into the house. How much did you sell the house for, Ms. Strivey?
$149,500.
Okay. What did you tile?
We tiled about 1,000 square feet, the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, both bathrooms, and a hallway. The only thing in the house that wasn't tiled was the 3 bedrooms.
She bought the tile and I put it down.
It's fine. You got the profit. How much did you clear, Ms. Strivey?
Altogether, we probably made about $20,000 off the house.
Okay.
And I did give her, during this period when we were selling the house, they had repossessed her van and she had no transportation. So I signed over my 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee to her.
That agreement for that Jeep has nothing at all to do with the home. My first child, I gave up to adoption within this period of time. And I was going to give it to a couple that was in Miami that I did not know. And she came to me and said that since I did not have a car, that if I gave my child to her friends, she would give me the car, and her friends are very good people. But that was the agreement for the Jeep, and that has nothing at all to do with this home.
That's not true. I would never offer to sell my grandchild. That was what he needed, because he had already been taken out of her possession once and placed with me for custody.
How old is he?
He's 6. He's 2 weeks younger than my 6-year-old. I have a 6-year-old as well. And during this period, which is why the husband moved out, is because he was taken away from them and put in my custody.
This still has nothing to do with the house, Your Honor.
It did, and that was the point where she couldn't afford to make the payments anymore.
Where is your husband now?
My husband right now is in Cocoa, Florida.
Do you live with him?
No, I do not.
Who do you live with?
I live with 2 roommates, and I cover 1/3 of the rent. My friend Lisa and her husband cover 1/3 of the rent, and then my brother-in-law and his wife cover the other 1/3 of the rent.
Are you still married?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
This arrangement just happened within the last few weeks because her husband's been in jail.
At the time that you were living in this house, Who was working, you or your husband?
My husband was working, and I owned my own business.
What kind of business?
It was a children's consignment shop
that I helped her open.
So you were both working?
Yes.
So whatever money you invested in the house, you would only be entitled to half of this. Is that right? The other half would be your husband's?
Yes, Your Honor, if you want to look, yes, that would be correct.
Okay. You think your mother has been reasonable or unreasonable with you?
I think my mother has been selfish and incapable of being a mother.
In the relatively short time, Ms. Strybio, that I have to spend with you, I'm never going to be able to figure out the pathology of your family. But it clearly seems to me that your daughter, whether rightfully or wrongfully, labors under the assumption that you had an agreement, which I find to be potentially a valid agreement, that whatever improvements they put into the house that might inure to your benefit when you sold the house, you would reimburse her for if the house wasn't sold to them. That's a reasonable expectation. And truth is, you sold the house for a profit. And if it were me, I would have said, you know what? She's not in great shape. Let me give her what she put into it and let her move on. That's what I would have done.
I did offer, when she started looking for another home right away, I went out with her, and I was more than willing to help her find another home. And if she at some point in the future, you know, was going to buy one, her father and I had already discussed, you know, we would each pay half the deposit. I've given her lots of money.
I assume that that's true.
But I've always made her pay me back, and I think she's very ungrateful.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1950, which represents 1/2 of the amount that you invested in the house. The other half is not your claim, belongs to your husband.
Okay.
Got it? Good. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've been given a mother who's incapable of loving me, yet comes off as trying to be this star person, and she's not.
Michelle has a lot of anger issues over me divorcing her father when her and her brother were young.
She wouldn't have been able to sell that house for what she did if we had made the improvements to it.
I've helped her with every apartment, every bill, every vehicle.
She claimed that she didn't have the money to give me back that we put into the home, but then she instead, that same exact month, went out and dropped $5,000 on a jacuzzi, another $5,000 on breast augmentation. So that apparently ranks higher in the scheme of her life than her daughter.
I don't think I owe her any explanation for what we do with our finances.
Maybe a last chance effort of getting some type of recognition from her.
I understand where she's coming from.
I've forgiven her over a course of a lifetime for the things that she's done, but I would have to be very stupid to accept her back into my life.
22-year-old Tanya Thomas and her husband Jason are suing Tanya's mother, Kathy McAfee, for making false charges to Child Protective Services.
Yeah, this is case number 575 on the calendar in the matter of Thomas versus McAfee.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
This is your mother, Miss Thomas, is that right?
Yes, it is.
And this is your boyfriend?
This is my husband.
When were you married?
February 15th of 2007.
You have one child?
I have a daughter and he has a son.
You have one child.
Yes.
And it is your claim that your mother made false allegations against the two of you to Child Protective Services. You consider that defamation and you want her to be responsible for paying you damages. Your mother says that she really had the primary responsibility for a long time in raising your daughter until recently. And when you married and when you took up residence with Mr. Thomas, she had legitimate concerns over the child's welfare based upon things that the child told her. You and Mr. Thomas were married February 15th?
Mm-hmm.
How old is your daughter?
She's now 3.
How long have you and Mr. Thomas been living together?
Almost about maybe 7 months.
Did your daughter live with your mother?
No, she did not. I lived with my mother for a short time and her and I lived there together.
When was that?
That was off and on from the time she was born. We lived together from 04 to 05 and then a couple months in 05. And then last March of 06, we moved back into my mom. And I moved out into my brother's house of June of 06.
So you were in and out of your mother's home for substantial periods of time with your daughter?
Yes.
Without Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Were you working?
Off and on I was, yes I did.
When you were working, who watched your daughter?
I had a friend of mine, her name is Ruthie.
What about your mother? Shh, just a second. I'll get to you in a second. What about your mother? Did she ever watch your daughter?
Yes, off and on.
Of course. When I ask you a question, I'm supposed to get an answer, not what you think you would like the reality to be, but what the actual reality was, Miss Thomas. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
So when you went to work, who watched your daughter?
My mom and
Okay. You get where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Did you leave your mother's house on good terms?
Yes, I did.
Is that right?
Yes, she did.
Good.
And I had Abby at the time. When she moved in with her brother Joe, I still continued to have Abby so that she could work.
In June of '06, Abby, who was the child, was living with you?
Yes.
Until when?
I had sometimes she'd go home on the weekends with her mom, but most of the time I had her Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends, clear up until Tuesday, September 12th.
What happened on Tuesday, September 12th?
They had Abby for the weekend.
Who's they?
Tanya and Jason. And when I went to set Abby on the potty, because I was potty training her, Abby started crying and jumped off the toilet and held herself. And so I pulled her pants up, I got her a snack, and I went out on the swing on our deck and sat there to talk to her. She wanted to play games and sing songs. She didn't want to talk about it anymore. So then when Tanya come on Thursday to pick Abby up, I said, Tanya, have you noticed a difference in Abby's potty training? She said, yes, I want to talk to you about that. She said, when I come home on Saturday, Abby was sitting in her room cross-legged and she was crying. I asked her what happened and she said, Jason. So she said when Jason come out of the bathroom, that he said that Abby was crying because she couldn't get in to go to the bathroom. And I said, well, Tanya, do you think anything with that? And Tanya got mad and she said, no, there you are, your crazy mind and your stupid things, there you go. She got in her car and she left.
That was September 12th?
Yes, well, September 14th.
Okay.
And then on September 15th, she came to pick Abby up. And she kept trying to get Abby to go with her, and Abby wouldn't go with her. And finally, Tanya said, we'll go to McDonald's. And Abby was riding her bicycle, or tricycle, and she said, Mama, you go to McDonald's and bring it back. And so Tanya got Abby and took her home with her. Come Monday, I got sick, and I was sick for 9 or 10 days. And my sister Becky called me from Fort Wayne to know what was going on. I told her. And she said, you need to make a report.
You made a report?
Yes, I did.
Okay. That you thought that there was something that was potentially problematic.
Right.
Okay. The question I have for you, Miss Thomas, is your mother called to make a report to Child Protective Services because of something that your daughter had said to her.
Mm-hmm. My daughter's only 2 at the time.
Doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
She's very smart.
Doesn't make any difference. I believe that based upon whatever little bits your daughter said to her, your mother had what she perceived to be a legitimate concern. What?
I have paperwork here of the police report that she made that says she waited 2.5 weeks to make this allegation.
Right. She just told me that.
I was sick.
She just told me that, Mr. Thomas. You think that that mitigates the problem? She tried to get her daughter involved, and her daughter got angry and left. That's what she told me. She said first she reported it to her daughter.
My mom did not report it to me at all.
Yes, she did, Miss Thomas. She said to you, have you had any trouble potty training Abby? She didn't report it to you that way. She was trying to be more subtle. Maybe she had to hit you over the head with her concerns. Mr. Thomas, you have children?
Yes, I do. I have custody of my son.
How long have you had custody of your son?
4 years now.
How old is he?
He'll be 7 next month.
Your mother-in-law says that you acknowledged that you put some hot sauce on Abby's fingers because she was putting her fingers in her mouth. Is that true?
I did one time, yes.
You can't do that, Mr. Thomas. That's not your prerogative.
I understand that. I
well, you
that.
understand that now, but you think that that might be the cause of concern by her grandmother?
Well, I see where she would have concern there.
So, I want to see the report that you say that she made to the police.
I also have the CPS report if you'd like to see that.
I absolutely would. Okay. Your mother reported that she believes her 2-year-old granddaughter is being abused by her daughter and a boyfriend. She advised that she has watched her granddaughter and observed significant change since her daughter became involved with her new boyfriend. So, why does your 2.5-year-old bite her fingers?
It was just a habit that she started.
No. That's ridiculous. That's not a habit. That's as a result of something else. Okay. Children don't bite their fingers unless there's a problem.
Your Honor, she had also started to stutter, which she never did before.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Policemen had come to my house, and they had said that my mom had made allegations. I was a child abuser. I'm not a child abuser.
Oh, stop.
And later today,
you picked him.
I know.
I didn't
Never
pick
again.
him. I wouldn't have picked him. I guarantee you, I would not have picked him.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tanya and Jason Thomas are suing Tanya's mother, Kathy McAfee, for for making false charges to Child Protective Services. Jason says Kathy accused him of physically abusing his stepdaughter.
Mr. Thomas, I'll hear the rest of what you have to tell me.
Okay, this all began when I started to buy a house from her son.
There you go. You bring that up. That has nothing to do with it.
Just don't speak.
Her son, Joey, came to me and wanted me to buy a house. They knew I was already pre-approved to buy a home, so I decided I was going to go ahead and buy this house. We closed on the house on September 13th. Now, on the closing of this house, Joey had told me that he was going to give me some money back on closing because the house wasn't in all that great a shape. So he was going to show up on the 15th. On the 14th is when we picked up Abby from her house.
15th. Sorry.
Don't speak again.
Okay.
Now, on the 17th, Joey showed up at my house. I work third shift. He shows up at my house at 11 o'clock at night. He avoided me the whole weekend.
Could you get to the point, Mr. Thomas, please?
Okay, well, he showed up after I went to work, and he brought two of his brothers, or one of his brothers and his dad, and I filed trespass warnings against him. And on the 26th, I filed a small claims court case against Joey.
I'm not hearing anything, sir.
I'm getting there. And
get there fast.
On the 15th, she calls and threatens us about the CPS thing.
I did not.
No. Mr. Thomas, what do you mean she calls and threatens you about this CPS thing?
Well, she just out of the blue.
No. Did you speak to her?
Her daughter.
What did you say to your mother, and what did your mother say to you?
She called on the phone, and I answered it. And this was right.
Look at me.
This was right after the police came to our house. My mom called. She was yelling.
Police came to your house about what?
About my brother's, the confrontation.
Okay, so there was a confrontation between your brother and your husband.
I was trying to prevent confrontation, and that's why I had called the police. Go ahead. And my mom had called, and I answered the phone, and she was cussing and hollering, and I'm like, what's going on? And then she was mad at me for calling the police on my brothers.
So?
And I said, I understand that, Mom, and I was trying to tell her, I said, I know how my brothers are. They like fighting, and I said, I only did that to protect my family. I did not want no fighting there because my kids were there. And she was still mad and cussing and hollering, and that's when she said, well, I'm going to get you for child abuse and everything, and she hung up.
Oh, you're under oath.
And she hung up.
No.
And then it was October 2nd, policemen had come to my house, and they had said that my mom had made allegations I was a child abuser.
No, your mother made allegations. Let me be very, very clear to you. You've already acknowledged that you permitted him to discipline this child in a way that I believe is inappropriate. I believe that your mother tried to talk to you well before this, when you came to pick up your daughter way back in September, about your daughter's potty training, and you left. That did happen, did it not?
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. I don't think she said the word abuse. I believe she said to you, having difficulty potty training Abby.
She never came to me about it, I swear.
She didn't come to you. You were at her house.
I came to her house on the 14th to pick up my daughter. My daughter was fine. My daughter left with me fine. I'm not a child abuser.
Let me ask you this question. Did your daughter ever say that she wanted to stay at your mother's house and you said, we'll go and get McDonald's?
No.
That never happened
No,
either.
we were going home. I took her home, but we never went to McDonald's or nothing.
No, I didn't say that you go to McDonald's. I said, did you say to your daughter, we'll go and get McDonald's?
No.
Yes, I did, Tanya.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Anything else you want to say to me, Mr. Thomas? I'm still listening to you, sir.
I just don't understand how these allegations could be made. She made allegations that she abused her granddaughter when she was an infant. She waited, almost 2 years to make this allegation.
No.
She waited almost 2.5 weeks to make that. Child molesting to me, Your Honor, is a very serious thing. Very serious.
And very subjective sometimes, Mr. Thomas.
I don't understand.
Well, I'll explain it to you, sir. When Child Protective Services takes a report, they say, well, has there ever been any indication historically that a parent acted in either a neglectful or abusive way to a child? What she said was her daughter shoved Abby when she was little. Yes. What she's really complaining about, and she was, oh, stop it. What she's really complaining about now is that her daughter is taking a passive role, not protecting her child. She's not claiming that her daughter physically abused her. The report says, sir, that you physically abused her once, that you acknowledge by putting stuff on her hands to prevent her from biting her hands, which is an unnatural thing for a 2-year-old to do. You acknowledge that.
Yes.
And the second is She believed that there was some question as to whether or not her granddaughter was being abused in another physical way. And she has an absolute responsibility to report that.
So why didn't she do it right away? That's my question.
Because I'm answering your question, even though there's no basis for me to have to answer your questions. She tried to resolve, at least looking into the matter, with her daughter, who is emotional.
That was a lie, Your Honor.
No, I don't believe that, sir.
It was a lie.
I don't believe it. It's my job to figure out what's the truth and what's not, and who's telling the truth and who's not. And I'm telling you, your wife's statement to me is not truthful. All I have to say to you is you have to keep a very vigilant eye. You have one responsibility, and your one responsibility is to your daughter. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I don't know who he is. I assume he's a nice man. But if the person who has been caring for your child more than anybody else other than you says to you, I have a question as to whether or not this little girl is being adequately cared for when you're not around, you have to watch that and not complain about it. And you certainly don't sue her about it. I would sue her if she didn't file the complaint. The fact that the Department of Child Protective Services chose to resolve this matter without even having the child physically examined is bizarre, to say the least. Bizarre. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm sorry that she's upset, but, I had to do what I had to do because I tried to talk to her, and I have to worry about my granddaughter.
My mom said that I was a child abuser, and I'm not.
That woman's a liar.
I swear to God, I'm not a child abuser. My daughter loves me.
She won't let me see her, but whether I can see Ivy anymore or not, it doesn't matter. It matters that he doesn't do anything, or whoever done it doesn't do anything.
I'm the most hated son-in-law in the country, I'm sure.
If I was a bad mom, I wouldn't have her right now.
Peter White is suing his son's ex-girlfriend, 26-year-old Ashley Hickey, for the return of a computer.
All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. This is case number 386 on the calendar in the matter of White versus Hickey. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. White, your son is presently awaiting sentencing on a domestic violence case. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And the defendant is the complainant in that case.
Yes, that is also correct.
The defendant and your son had lived together for how long?
Almost 2 years.
The sentencing is for a violation of a protective order. There had been a protective order in place, and he was found guilty of violating that protective order. Is that right?
He pleaded no contest, yes.
That's found guilty. Is he represented by an attorney?
Yes, he is.
Did the attorney give you any indication of how long he was going to be sentenced?
I think it's going to be probation and anger management, alcohol counseling.
How long has he been in jail?
He was in jail for 4 days.
Where is he now?
He is out of jail and taking a welding class, living at my house.
He has an alcohol problem?
Yes.
Are you angry with the defendant?
Well, I'm not angry with the defendant, but I feel that there was some property that was at the residence when she got the protection order that belonged to me.
According to you, you loaned them, a computer. She took it. Tell me about the loan of the computer, Mr. White.
Well, I build computers for a living.
I understand that.
Okay, and my son and the other son that lives at home, from time to time I will put a better computer into their place and then take the other one and use it for parts. And the computer that he had was something that I had put a lot of time and money into. And there's pictures of my grandchildren on there and so forth.
I want to know, Mr. White, what you said to your son when you built this computer in their home.
Oh, I said this is a loaner that you can use as long as you need. And when I need it back, I'm going to take it back.
Is that what you said to him?
Yes.
I don't believe you. It doesn't sound right to me, sir. When did you put this computer in their home?
It was before they moved back here from up north. It would have been probably October or November of 2005.
You get where I'm going, Mr. White. A loaner is something you say, listen, you need a computer, I'm going to loan you my computer, but I'll be back for it in a week. I'll be back for it in 2 weeks. But not I'll be back for it 2 years later, when I want it back because you have my pictures of my grandchildren on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, sir. Now, you may be angry at her because she had your son arrested. I can understand that. Did you have him arrested because he assaulted you?
Yes.
You said that in a very tenuous way. Did he assault you?
Yes, he did.
How?
He tossed me across the room. He grabbed my arm and tossed me across the room.
Had he been drinking?
Yes.
Do you drink?
No. Not, well, occasionally with friends.
But you don't have an alcohol problem?
No.
How long have you known that his son had an alcohol problem?
Well, he drinks on a daily basis. I guess from the beginning I knew it, but I just
it was my own fault for knowing and not doing anything about it.
Was he working at the time that you lived together?
When we first started living together, yes, he was.
And then?
And then he got laid off and was on unemployment until it ran out.
Were you working?
Yes.
Steadily?
Yes.
Same company?
Well, when we lived in Petoskey together, I asked to be laid off because I wanted to move back to Bay City. I didn't know if we could find work right away. And when I got there, I had a really hard time finding work, but I did find a work at a daycare. And I worked there until I found a better job, which is where I'm at now.
How long have you been working at this company?
Since August.
Sounds like a nice young lady, sir. You must have been thrilled that your son, who has an alcohol problem, hooked himself up with such a nice young lady.
Should I respond to that, Your Honor?
I'm waiting for an answer, sir.
I was not happy that he was with her, and one thing I am grateful for about this whole mess is that he's not with her anymore.
Is that right?
Yes.
I'd like to hear why.
Because she has a history of being what my wife refers to as a gold digger, and she's taken people to the cleaners more than once, and it's documented, and she's doing it again this time.
Documented where? You mean because she took your rebuilt computer?
No. Because the first guy that she had a kid with that she wasn't married to, she got money out of him. And then the second guy that she had a kid with that she wasn't married to, she got thousands of dollars out of him.
And what'd you get out of your son, who was unemployed most of the time?
Well, they were co-signed on a house, and she owns all that, all the furniture that's in there, and he hasn't got one thing back out of that either.
He wasn't working.
Well, he has been working. In fact, he was working a very good job.
He's got an alcohol problem.
That's
Mr.
true.
White. When you have an alcohol problem at 27, he's 27?
He will be in a month.
Well, 26. When you have an alcohol problem and you're 26 years old, the likelihood of you amassing a great deal of money is de minimis. What I'm telling you is I spoke to her for a relatively short period of time, and you may be angry at her because she had your son arrested, because he spent some time in jail, because he's awaiting sentencing, which is going to include an alcohol program, which it should, and probably a little anger management as well. That doesn't give you license to sue her and to abuse the court system. What you're saying to me was, in 2005, 2 years ago, you put a rebuilt computer with parts that you put together in a home that your son shared with her. And you want me to believe that you said to your son at the time, I'm loaning you this computer until I want it back. And I'm telling you that common sense suggests to me, sir, that that never happened. You may have said to them, from time to time, I'll come and add new parts to it and give you a new one. That I can imagine if that's what you do. But not 2 years ago saying to them, this is a loaner. If you say to me, I made a gift of this computer to my son, and she took it, different story. Then your son would have to be here and say, it was my computer, I want it back.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor. And the only disagreement I would have with that is she took property that belonged to me and said she needed it for school. And yet I feel like if you take something that belongs to somebody else because you need it, that's not justification.
It didn't belong to you. When you give it away, it no longer belongs to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's his fault if he's an alcoholic, and it's his fault if he got himself into legal trouble, for which he pled guilty, which means he did the wrong thing. Not once, but twice, that we know about.
And later today,
I want you to be quiet. I want you to let him dig this grave all by himself. Do you understand?
Yes.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Peter White is suing his son's ex-girlfriend, Ashley Hickey, for the return of a computer.
Now, you and your wife are angry at her because she caused your son trouble. Could have just as easily have split up without trouble, without police, without 4 days in jail, without lawyers, without bail, right?
I disagree, Your Honor.
You disagree that they could have split up without trouble? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, if we would have been able to get some of the stuff back from her, like this computer.
I'm not talking about stuff. Aren't you hearing what I'm saying? What I said to you, madam, was you would think as parents you would want them, if they were going to split up without police involvement.
I agree with that.
Well,
yes, Your Honor.
so why can't you just say I agree? You don't have to be argumentative.
I do.
The only problem is your son was a violent alcoholic. And the only way that she could get him out of the house and get her to leave her alone was to call the police. Because he wasn't leaving her alone. He's not allowed to put his hands on her. And he's not allowed to come back once there's an order of protection. That's not her fault. That's your son's fault. And you better put the blame where it belongs, because it doesn't belong with her, it belongs with him. And the quicker he grows up and figures out that he has two loving parents, but he better not disappoint them, because you're going to be there for him if he falls on his face. But don't blame other people. It's his fault if he's an alcoholic, and it's his fault if he got himself into legal trouble, for which he pled guilty, which means he did the wrong thing. Not once, but twice. More perhaps, but twice that we know about. And if your son wants to come here and tell me that this was a gift to him and she took it without permission, I'd hear him. But you did not loan her your computer. That's all. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's angry with me because his son is an alcoholic and he's violent, and he went to jail, and he's mad at me and thinks it's my fault.
I think she would do anything she could to make my entire family miserable and is making a career out of it.
My son was brought into this situation. It shouldn't have never been like that.
You can't fault the judge's logic. She was very logical, but there was a few issues behind the scenes that didn't really come to the fore.
I hope he does get help, and I hope he does become a better person.
That's some other way.
On Judy Justice.
Each one of you are claiming that the other is guilty of harassment and false police reports, reports to Child Welfare Administration. The whole bad feeling between neighbors started because of a parking space.
She parked very close to my car, as you can see on the picture. She started parking close to me like that.
She asked you to move. Your response to her was, it's a public street, I'll park where I want to park. I'm not sympathetic with you. You called Child Protective Services based on...
She yelled at her daughter to get down, or next time she does it, she's going to beat her up, and then we heard break your neck.
And she says, hey, get off the couch right now. I'm going to beat you up. Stop playing. Okay, I'm going to break it. Oh, she says, you're going to break your neck.
She didn't say, I'm going to break your neck. She said, you're going to break your neck.
After she threatened to beat the child up.
I still think that that's a little bit of overkill, Miss Jackson. Let's go further.
And now, the conclusion. Lynette Hernandez is suing her neighbors, Pamela Jackson and Ashley Jackson, for filing false CPS reports and defamation of character.
So the first two times that you called Child Protective Services, I think that they were iffy. And I believe, if you see something, say something. But this comes from a different place. All right.
A police officer.
Don't speak. I don't care what a police officer said to you, actually. I really don't care. You say that she called Child Protective Services in April.
April 7th.
Just a second. Mm-hmm. So Child Protective Services responded to a call on April 7th. And what was the gravamen of that call? Somebody was complaining that what? Do you know?
Yeah, she told
Not she. Somebody was complaining.
Somebody was saying that I had a knife, a child, and that I was kicking her car. The same thing she told the police officer the first time. Then whenever she came inside of my house, the CPS worker...
Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
She says she did not call Child Protective Services in April. That's what she says. So now you're going to show me proof that she called Child Protective Services in April. She acknowledges she called 3 times, all after August, either August, September, or thereafter. So show me proof that she called in April.
Just tell her to press play.
Press play at the bottom.
All these in Galveston knew how to take care of their men, they wouldn't be paying her to take care of them. She's very proud of this. She's proud of she doesn't care that her kids are there. I've seen signs of things that have happened. There was one incident, and yes, it did get reported to CPS. Yes, there's a video out there. Now I'm going to have to go find the video where one of the guys that comes out giving her money, the daughter is sitting there kind of grabbing herself money, almost like something happened. So it's almost like Lynette actually pimped out her own daughter. What kind of mother is going to do her prostitution in front of her kids, and B, allow them around her daughter?
How did you get this audio?
She posted that on TikTok. And the first time that they came, April 7th, CPS, they told me that those were the allegations that were made.
Clearly, that's your voice.
It's
clearly, just a second.
That was after.
Clearly, that's your voice.
Yes, that's my voice, but I'm not the one that called. I learned about the allegations.
Clearly,
she called the police.
Clearly, that's your voice. And those are pretty serious allegations, because you're not only accusing her of committing a crime in front of her children, you say in this audio, which is on TikTok, is that where it is?
See if there's
people are so crazy, that she is using her daughter, who is 7. That's what you say on here. That's pretty vicious.
At the time,
just a second. That's pretty.
Your Honor, she's claiming that I'm a prostitute.
Just a second. Does it sound as if right now, I told you, I don't care if you have to parallel park.
There's another TikTok to why that one was posted that would clear more information.
I don't care if you have something that would clear more information, madam.
She accused me of being arrested for calling CPS when I wasn't. And that particular CPS call, somebody else, she called the police after
Did you post this
after
on a just a second?
I got fired for.
That's your voice. And I don't care if you're having a private conversation with somebody, if you're saying to somebody privately, this is what I think is going on there, this is what I think. You posted this on a public platform, accusing her, not only accusing her, but saying that you saw her home being used for prostitution and her using her child for prostitution. That's what you say. Hey, that's what you say in here. And it was posted, because that's the only way you get it.
Views, unlike hers, that had over 4 million.
Just a second. I'm telling you that is egregious. That is egregious. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever been arrested?
No, ma'am.
I didn't ask you for anything. Have you ever been, careful, have you ever been arrested?
No, ma'am.
If you haven't been arrested, you couldn't have been convicted of a crime. You have 2 children. How old are they?
7 and 8.
Who do you work for?
I'm a home health caregiver for a company.
You work full-time?
Part-time, because I was a student.
Where?
In Galveston College.
Is that a brick-and-mortar school?
It's a community college.
But it's a brick-and-mortar school. It's not online.
No, it's public.
When I say it's a brick-and-mortar, it's a building rather than something in the cloud.
Yeah.
Okay. Outrageous. That's outrageous.
She ended up.
Lynette Hernandez claims her neighbor, Pamela Jackson, defamed her on social media. Pamela says she called CPS on Lynette after she witnessed abuse.
Okay, when's the 3rd time you called?
The 3rd time, she was outside with her child. Her child threw a ball at her. She took the ball, and with full force, she took it and threw it at his face. She also threw it at his groin. Then when he was upset and crying, she looked at him and told him, "You've been hit harder than that in soccer."
Okay. Did you have a video
we have
of
a
that?
recording.
I'd like to see it. Which one is your phone? The happy face or this face?
Here's the one where you can see him being hit in the groin. And then there's another one too.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what this is showing.
Well, she's playing ball with her 2 children out in the front. It's looks like a big beach ball.
Oh, that.
And then she throws the ball in it, but it's in a very light-spirited way. These are not angry.
The other one's not.
These are, I got it.
Just a mother playing with her children.
CPS closed all of these cases after they came out and interviewed you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It was ruled out because they didn't find anything.
Okay, now I'm going to hear one thing from you, only one thing, and that's your counterclaim, because I don't care about police, I don't care calling the police. You're all entitled to do that. CPS is a whole different thing.
If I could add something, please?
Not unless it's on video, because what you showed me so far.
I got document for this one.
What?
We've got documentation on this one.
On what?
In retaliation, she called CPS on my daughter who doesn't have kids.
Who cares? Then your daughter's not at risk if she has no children. CPS responded based upon at least 3 times, maybe 4, but at least 3 times. And so far, nothing that I've seen, other than the fact that you were annoyed, would require or suggest child abuse or neglect. So I'm telling you, that's trouble for you. All I want to hear now is you claim she assaulted you. That's your counterclaim. I don't want to hear about anything else. You claim she assaulted you.
Well, we have two parts to that. We also have defamation.
All I care about, you have to understand, I find that what you and or your daughter did by calling Child Protective Services vindictive and vile. And it took people who should be out there really looking to take care of children who are really abused and or neglected, took their time to come out, do an investigation, all because of vindictiveness, because I saw nothing. If I were trying a neglect case...
I have video of a cop telling me to call
Just a
CPS.
second. Just a second. I don't care. You have shown me the basis that you used to call Child Protective Services. You took the video of it. And I'm telling you, that was my business for a quarter of a century. I would never make a finding of neglect based upon anything that you had here. Anything. So now, follow directions. You know, I told you, I'm an equal opportunity abuser. I told her she's got to learn how to parallel park and not tell people where to park on the street. All I'm interested from you is tell me about this assault that you allege occurred.
The night of the assault, and we have video of it. I should get that ready.
Date, just a second. Date.
November 27th, this past year, 2022. It was in the evening. I was outside changing my cameras, and she came home and took my trash can because she had put hers in front of my car that day, or the day before, and the cops even, because at first she...
No. Don't go off on a tangent.
Okay. So she took my trash can, put it in the middle of the road. She likes to try to get me tickets. I went to go move it. She kept pulling it and moving it back out there. So finally I went to go grab her can to move it over. Well, she ended up taking my can and going like this. Literally shoved it into me 4 times. I ended up with scratches and bruises.
Okay.
I've got a back strain and it agitated my arthritis.
I'm going to see.
I've got medical records.
Just a second. I'm going to see the video of that and the police report.
Can you pull that video? I don't have my phone.
Your Honor, I have the video of the whole incident.
Is this ours?
Yes.
My phone.
Pull up that video.
We have it on the monitor if you want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to move it. Let me park my car. Let me park my car. You can keep it up there. Why do you want to go? I don't give. Let me park my car. Just because I don't have to be
Hey, man, you go to the neighborhood, you know what the neighborhood's all about. Why are you?
You want me to hit you? I want you to go to jail. The way you were.
I don't see any.
Your Honor, I have a video of the whole
Just a second. I don't see anything there.
Those are just clips.
Shh. I don't see anything there. Miss Jackson, I see 2 ladies fighting over the trash cans. I don't see her assaulting you.
It was the trash can she got me with.
I don't see it. I don't see her going like this into you 4 times. I don't see that. I don't see it. Now I'll look at a police report. That's your video. Do you see her shoving a trash can into 4 times?
You can see that they come together with both trash cans, but not much more.
Stupid. People acting stupid. Nonsense. Stupid.
Your Honor, I have the video of the whole incident of how it first started.
I'd like to
Because
see it.
she made a... Where's my pink phone?
I gave them all
Pink phone.
Every angle of it.
Because she...
Pink phone.
She lied.
Don't speak. I'm not...
She made another false accusation saying that I was the one who put it in the middle of the street. I came, and she was the one who came first and started putting it in the middle of the street. And I'm going to find the video for you.
You know, I really don't care. Listen to me, Miss Hernandez.
Yes, ma'am.
Take your phone. I really don't care.
Okay.
I look there and I don't see an assault.
Okay.
I don't see an assault, and that's really all I was interested in.
Defendant Pamela Jackson is accusing her neighbor, Lynette Hernandez, of abusing her children. Lynette claims Pamela posted damaging content on her social media.
Okay, Miss Jackson, when we started out this case, I said to Miss Hernandez, in effect, don't be a big baby. You have to park your car, learn to parallel park, and you can't tell somebody else that they can't park in front of their house. And you were absolutely right. Right? Mm-hmm. You owe her $5,000. I'm entering a judgment on her behalf of $5,000 for your erroneous call to Child Protective Services. That's my judgment. Don't do it again. Don't take. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm speaking. You showed me your best evidence. You said I have it all recorded. Why I called Child Protective Services. You showed me. There was nothing there in the videos you showed me.
Because
this is not a because. This is not a because. This is not a because. I also find what you posted on TikTok abhorrent.
What she posted was worse. And it's viral. You didn't even give me a chance to present it.
Just a second. The only thing that I am hearing are the calls to Child Protective Services and your assault. I didn't see the assault, but I saw Child Protective Services. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaims dismissed. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
I overheard a lot more than what was, and saw a lot more than what was being shown.
I got justice because you shouldn't waste resources, on something, on accusations, sick and false like that.
I wouldn't have all these cameras if she wasn't constantly harassing me, calling the police on me.
Everybody gets along except her. She's the problem.
She wants to become TikTok famous. When she realized her videos of defamation against my mother was getting a big hit, she was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this on.
I'm not trying. It just happened.
We've tried to ignore her. She's the one that keeps doing it.
There's been things that she's done, and it's just all out of pettiness.
Wait for the police to finally arrest her.
Thank you, Judy Justice.
So I have two comments.
Okay.
Because we've had lots of cases with regard to parking spaces, parking in the street, and that sort of stuff. And have neighbors start off wrong, usually because of something. This was a car thing. But you have to be sensitive to the limited resources of people who are supposed to protect children. And if you keep calling them over nonsense because it really emanated from a parking space, you touched my car, it's parked too close, that's not a tool. Yeah. That's not a tool. And we have to fortify that statement that it's not a tool to call a governmental agency that has limited resources because somebody's bumping into your car.
Yeah.
And there are ramifications of posting that sort of stuff without any modicum of proof. Mm-hmm. Just because you're making up this.
I was pretty outraged listening to that as well. Hearing, like you had said, I could speak to a friend or a family member at home and say, I've seen some weird things about my neighbor. I'm not sure if something weird is going on there. But those were concrete, seemingly factual statements that she was making about her neighbor that were inaccurate and, like you said, had no basis.
If true, she belongs in jail.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
No.
In my judgment, just the limited contact that I had. They both behaved badly. I was talking about this Gen, whatever it is.
Oh, us Gen Z. You realize that's my generation as well.
Yeah, yes, it is. So,
go easy on us. Remember who raised us.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Probably part of it was us. But I heard a really funny story. We were talking about this entitlement, young people in entitlement. And one of my friends said, I went into a store, where they usually have one shoe out, and if you want the other one, you have to ask a sales associate to please get you the other shoe to prevent people from walking out with two shoes. So he went over to the sales associate. The place was relatively empty. He said to the sales associate, could I get the mate of this shoe? And this kid, who was about 25, 28 years old, looked like a schlump. His response to him was, why me? Why me? Why did you ask me? There are 4 other sales associates here who could get you the other shoe. Why did you pick me? Bizarre. Yeah. I'm praying for some sort of a miracle for this generation, some sort of an awakening. Anyway.
There's some good ones in the generation that might just save us.
There are some great ones. Just a minute. There are great ones. There There are great ones. But there's a very unfortunate thing because neither one of these two people are moving.
Yeah.
Tracy Gallen is suing her client, Ronald Webster, for unpaid wages while working as a home aide.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge.
How are you, Kevin?
Good. Case 2168, Gallen versus Webster.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Gallen, you are a home health aide.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to any particular school or have any training to be a home health aide?
Well, I went to CNA nursing school, so I'm
CNA? What is
certified nursing assistant.
And you've been doing that for over a decade?
Correct.
Do you need any license in the state where you're from in order to be a CNA?
CNA, yes. Caregiver, no.
But you have a license from CNA?
Yes, ma'am, and also have a license for a medical assistant.
Now, there came a time when you answered some sort of an ad by Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster had a mother who was ill and needed some assistance in caring for her. Are you a working man, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a caterer and a DJ, and also a driver.
Do you get any salary from any of those jobs?
It ranges from job to job.
Usually, how much?
For DJing, a couple hundred.
Couple hundred for how many hours?
It's basically by the job, the location, things of that nature. So it can vary.
Caterer.
Catering, we're building a family business, so basically getting started with it. Probably made as much as $1,800 before for a catering event. So again, it was brand new prior to the pandemic.
Okay, and what's your steadiest source of income?
Driving as of now.
How much do you make approximately an hour driving?
Now, probably $22 with the subtractions. For
$22 an hour?
Yes.
Is that with or without your tips?
That's with tips.
Did you always live with your mother?
I lived with her for quite some time.
Say within the last 10 years.
Within the last 10 years, I moved out 3.5 years ago. Due to illness, I was staying with her, so I was not really able to work. During that time, I went to school to become a caterer, cook, etc., culinary school, business school, because I did have aspirations to open a restaurant eventually, or a catering business eventually.
So you didn't live with your mother for the last 3.5 years?
No, Your Honor.
What kind of illness did she have?
My mother was diagnosed initially with COPD. I forgot exactly what those words are, but it's a pulmonary. It's with her.
I know
breathing.
it's COPD. It's a pulmonary disease.
You're better than me. Then there's also emphysema, along with some other things that I was not made aware of until she passed away.
How old was she?
68 years old.
A kid?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long was she bedridden? From when to when?
November 23rd until her death date of April 30th.
So all the time that the plaintiff took care of her, she was bedridden?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was your mother pretty strong-willed?
Yes, very much so, Your Honor.
And the COPD and emphysema was in all probability, at least in part, if not in all, attributed to her smoking.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, according to your complaint, Ms. Gallion, you worked for Mr. Webster in taking care of his mother, with whom he didn't live. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone else live with her?
My son lived with her.
How old is he?
He's 29 years old now.
What does he do?
He was working at the time for Tesla.
He was, but he's no longer.
No longer.
But at this time, he was working for Tesla.
He was working for Tesla.
The whole time.
Yes, Your Honor. The whole time
right?
from being released from the hospital up until her death day, yes, Your Honor.
Now, the house belonged to your mother.
Via rent, but yes, Your Honor.
She rented it?
Yes, Your Honor.
She was a rentor.
Yes, Your Honor.
So her grandson just stayed there with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
So he slept there, and you were supposed to come during the day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Saturday.
Okay. Now, do you have the ad that you got from the defendant?
I do.
I see it, Kevin, please. Thank you.
I also have the messages, Your Honor, from that ad.
Let me just read this. Okay, so you were asking for somebody good to take care of your mother because she was a great caretaker all of her life.
Yes, Your
Very
Honor.
nice.
All of my life.
All of your life.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in it, he says IHSS for now. Would you explain what that is?
It's in-home supportive services.
From the federal government or the state?
From the state, if I'm not mistaken.
And you are from the state of?
California.
Well, this is what he wrote. So when you spoke to him with the same parameters of your employment as contained in his ad, that you would be working for IHSS for now, maybe more in the future. I don't know what that means. I assume it means that if it works out, you'd be paying her in addition to what she was making with IHSS.
No, Your Honor, I don't.
What does it mean? IHSS for now,
Yes.
maybe more. What does that maybe more mean?
I honestly can't recollect what that meant. I am aware that I did send that text message or that Facebook post.
Is there anything in any of the text messages you have that indicates what maybe more is?
Yeah, just verbally, he stated out of his mouth that anything extra, him and his son would pay out of pocket.
Okay, extra like what?
Extra hours, if the hours that I agreed to work to, if it needed to be extended, my traveling time, my toll from where I was driving from, he was supposed to
reimburse you.
Yes,
for.
ma'am.
Is that correct, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Now, you started working when?
February 24th was my first day.
From February 24th until April what?
23rd.
And that was 6 days a week?
It varied because depending on my schedule, so every other week I would work Monday through Friday, and then the additional weeks I'll work Monday through Saturday.
So it's between 5 and 6 days a week. And how many hours a day were you working?
5.
So when you came into work, was the grandson still there?
Sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't.
And if he wasn't, Miss Webster was alone?
Correct.
And when you left, was she alone?
Yes, ma'am.
And then hopefully the son came back to assist her at night.
From my understanding, there was another caregiver that was supposed to be there at nighttime, which I never saw, so I'm not sure.
Did you have another caregiver there at night?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who was that?
Her name was...
How long was she there?
You mean her work time or her duration of employment?
Duration of employment.
The same time that Tracy started.
Did she get paid?
I'm not aware of
Just a second. Did you fill out papers for...
Your Honor...
That's as it...
No.
If you didn't fill out papers for her, then either she was working for nothing or she got paid from you directly. Before you answer me, you had a nighttime person who was hired at the same time the plaintiff was. Either she was paid from an agency, or she was paid from you, or she did it gratuitously. What was it? Had your son ever applied to be caregiver for your mother? Think carefully before you answer that question, because this one knows all. Had your son ever applied to be your mother's caregiver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Oh, makes it so easy.
Tracy Gallen claims her client, Ronald Webster, owes for unpaid wages.
Now, the agency, was she paid from an agency?
Yes.
Don't say yes if she was not. If she was not paid by the agency because she didn't get paid, then say she never got any money from the agency. And if you never filled out any paperwork, she couldn't have gotten paid by the agency.
Correct.
Well, why don't you just...
Let me rephrase that, because this is where the trepidation comes along. Neither of the caregivers were properly inputted into in-home supportive care system. So there's an allotment that is allowed where caregivers can work in hopes of having a large lump sum payment once they get their paperwork, background check, and everything else taken care of. So up until the 29th, no one had gotten paid because no one had their paperwork taken care of yet. So it's on the 29th when that starts to come about. So I personally never signed any paperwork for neither of the caregivers.
It's not true, Your Honor.
Just a second. That's what he's saying. Okay. So he signed no paperwork. And she worked for you from February to March, March to April, for 2 months. How much did you pay her in the 2 months that she worked there?
Out of my pocket, I paid her $110 with a caveat. It was the first time that she worked on a Saturday. I asked her to do so because I had...
Just tell me how much you paid her.
$110.
Anything else?
Because I had a calendar DJing event. I was not fielding anything up until that point.
Mr. Webster.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You seem like a nice man. It's going to cost you money. You can either make it easy or make it hard. From February to April, did your son work?
Yes, Your Honor. He worked at Tesla.
Then I'm not finished with you with that. Your son worked for Tesla. I assume Tesla paid him.
I'm assuming he got paid too, Your Honor.
And when you worked as a caterer, I assume you got paid.
I was not working as a caterer during that time, Your Honor.
Were you working as a driver during that time?
I did work as a driver during that time, Your Honor.
Did you get paid?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prior to the plaintiff getting hired and this other woman, had your son ever applied to be caregiver for your mother? Think carefully before you answer that question. Think very carefully, because this one knows all. Had your son ever applied to be your mother's caregiver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Oh, makes it so easy. And when did he apply to be your mother's caregiver?
According to the information I have, which I was just made aware of.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a lot of... Your son is in your mother's house.
Yes.
You're there all the time because you're interested in your mother. You are the next of kin. You have to sign off. Did your son sign up to be your mother's caregiver, and when? Give me the month, day, and year that he signed up.
According to the paperwork I have, I'd have to look at it because I don't...
Look at it. You can look at it, digest it. Give me the date. See, Sarah, it's what's on paper doesn't always make sense, right?
Yeah.
You know?
You figure it out along the way.
Follow the money.
Yeah, always.
Always got to follow the money.
Leads you right to where you want to be.
Let's go.
According to the paperwork I have here, his paperwork was started on August of 2021.
When was it signed?
It does not state that.
And she started working in February. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So between August and February, Mr. Webster, who took care of your mother?
My son lived with her. He's, according to this, I was not privy to this information before.
Let me understand something.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not a House Select Committee investigation, sir. This is just a court where I'm trying to figure out who took care of your mother, who was unable to take care of herself from August until February when you got another caregiver, and whether that person was signed up to get in-home health benefits. So the answer is, partially I know that your son, who lives with her rent-free...
No. I'm sorry, not with my mother, not rent-free.
Lives with her.
Yes.
Maybe not, then maybe Kevin and I are paying the rent. You never can tell. I don't know how much, and I can't ask you how much money your son made between August and February, but maybe she got a little too difficult for him to deal with because in stages of being sick that way, you require a lot more help than you want your grandson to take care of. And so you needed somebody else. Now, I've just about, Mr. Webster, reached the end of creating the picture in this case, but the plaintiff was there, and so far you've given her $100 in 2 months. You got paid during that time period. Your son, who worked for Tesla, got paid during that time period. You can bet your bottom booty that I got paid during that period because I worked. Nobody said to me, well, you didn't get your form in right there. We're not paying you. Really, you're not paying me. You can find me today getting my pedicure. She stayed, even though she didn't get paid. Now, if she didn't work for you, could you or your son have gone out to do their other work? Or would you have left your mother alone? What would you have done?
Possibly made other arrangements, Your Honor.
Possibly. You mean get another sucker to work for free? You think that she should work for free? You think that she should work for free?
No, Your Honor, but I don't think she should smoke cigarettes with my mother alone.
Listen, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is stupid.
Okay.
Your counterclaim is stupid. You just told me before your mother is the kind of woman that would do exactly what she wants to do. And what you think yourself, since you're not there and off doing your thing, somebody who's terminally ill, not getting better. You knew that, right?
I did know that.
You did know that. And if your mother chose an easier way to go than the one you selected for her, that would have been her prerogative. That's also a fair statement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you didn't like the caring that she did for your mother, but actually her leaving had to do with your not paying her. You didn't fire her. Okay, let's put it this way. Did you fire her?
No, Your Honor, because I did not have the power to do
No.
so.
You did not fire her.
No, Your Honor.
That's not
Who
true,
put in?
Your Honor.
Who is Ron Webster?
I am Ronald.
You hired her.
No, Your Honor.
Well, this is you. Need a good caregiver for my mom. Need. That means I need.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, let's go to one other place. Okay? And then I'll let you talk. Right now, it doesn't seem to be that you're losing, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
In March, Miss Gowan, where's my money? You know, I'm taking care of your mom. There's no money. What does he say?
He kept blaming it on IHS. He needed to talk to them, and IHS just kept responding to me and was just like, he's crazy.
Tracy Gallen is accusing her client, Ronald Webster, of refusing to pay her after caring for his mother. Ronald claims Tracy smoked cigarettes and marijuana while working.
How much do you think the time that she worked there, taking care of your mother, was worth?
Your Honor, I personally cannot put a price on that. I know she's contracted through IHSS for $16 per hour.
Did your mother have a life insurance policy?
My mother had a couple of life insurance policies, yes.
What were they, and who were the beneficiaries?
I was the beneficiary
Of
both
one.
of
How
them.
much?
The total was $3,700, Your Honor.
Did she have a separate policy for her burial?
No, Your Honor.
Did she own any property anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
So what was the total you received from the estate?
The policies was set to pay $1,300, which I have not received all.
You mean in addition to the $3,700, you'll receive another $1,300?
$13,000 is what I meant to say. If I said $1,300, I misspoke. $13,000.
$13,000.
Total. Okay.
How much did you pay for the internment, the service, if there was one, whatever? How much did you pay? You paid for it, I assume, out of this money.
I have not done all the math. It's upwards of $15,000 or so, as I'm still.
You haven't done all the math.
I'm still
Fine.
making payments.
How much are you owed?
I have it there, 26. The whole breakdown is.
And
the amount was $29.12 minus the $300.
You say he gave you $300, not $140.
Correct.
Okay.
He cashed at me $300.
My question is that at $16 an hour?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is what you would have made.
Correct.
Do you have any other evidence to support the fact that he was helping you or that he agreed that this money was due and owed to you?
I have the email here where he was asking me to send a total of hours what he owed me.
Yeah, I see that, Kevin, please.
And then this is also the payment that he did pay me, the $300.
Well, this is from you.
Yeah, he asked me to send that to him because he kept acting confused.
But this is from you to him.
Correct.
Can I see your answer to this when she sends you this document?
I don't have that email.
Well,
and
do you have?
I'm not sure if there's an answer. I could check my phone.
No. Okay. Now, in March, Miss Gallen, where's my money? You know, I'm taking care of your mom. There's no money. What does he say?
He kept blaming it on IHS. He needed to talk to them, and IHS just kept responding to me and was just like, he's crazy. I don't know why he keep reaching out to us. We keep repeating the same thing.
He said he never
has to
filled
pay
out
you.
forms.
Also, this is the contract that he signed stating that I am the IHS provider. If there's any extra fees that was over the hours that were allowed for her, that he would have to cover out of his pocket.
No, he said he never filled out these forms.
Well, no, that is the contract that he signed. We have to sign that with IHS first to approve me even being the worker for his mom. So once they approved me and I went through orientation, he signed that he would be responsible for the hours. I kind of marked it on there where it states that this is the contract and this, this is what comes with it. Also, here are the timesheets I submitted.
Okay, not necessary. He acknowledges that he didn't pay you any more than, he says 100, you said 3, that's actually in your favor, $2,612. I suggest you take it out of the $13,000 that you received from your mother's life insurance. I'm sure she would like her caregiver paid, the one who took care of her in the last couple of months of her life. Your counterclaim, which is ridiculous, is dismissed as for the reasons I already said. The fact that the defendant may have either smoked with or allowed your mother to smoke in the last couple of years of her life is ridiculous. You're the one who said to me, my mother is my mother is my mother. She'll do what she wants to do. Not something like that. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're done. So's your counterclaim. $2,600.
This court is adjourned.
My mom's death. I've been doing everything I can to make sure that she was taken care of. And, it's unfortunate.
I'm really happy with the decision today. I was glad that she was able to see through all the lies and everything.
The plaintiff would give her cigarettes to stash for her so she would not overindulge herself smoking cigarettes.
Yes, I would go and get her the cigarettes because that was her last thing that she wanted, so. At
best, while taking care of my mom, she did a pretty good job with that. I've never denied that. I've also wanted her to get paid.
Just blamed it on IHHS and there was no really reason for him not to pay me at all.
I've been ready to put it behind me. This has been a nightmare since my mom's death and right before that. So I'm certainly glad to get it behind me.
I really did give her the best care that I could, She was happy. She was very happy, so I'm okay with everything.
Cases like this are sad, but it really shines the light on the whole sector that is elder law. And there's so many federal and state programs to make the elderly and vulnerable feel more comfortable, to be able to stay in their home, to be able to pick their own provider. But unfortunately, because of all the overlap and lack of oversight, there's a lot of fraud that takes place with the most vulnerable population. And like you were just talking about, your mother is the one that you rely on for a majority of your younger years, you know, to keep you alive, bathe you, feed you. And towards the end, it's just unfortunate that they don't receive the same care as we do in the beginning.
Yeah, that not being watched as carefully by the people that they cared for.
Yeah, but the plaintiff here surprised me. I mean, working 2 months, 5 days a week.
And she stuck with the job.
For no money and no real end in sight for when she was going to be paid. I respect her for that. She obviously cares about her business and about her craft as being a healthcare worker, so I appreciate that, but it shouldn't fall on kind-hearted people like that to take care of our elderly.
Maybe. Not sure. Yeah. I think that not everybody is fortunate enough to have children.
Yeah.
If you have children that fit into that mold. And I think that it's wonderful that the state, for those people that don't have loving families to support them if they're sick or elderly, for the state to provide a mechanism for those people to get from their bed to a bathroom, to another room, to a meal, perhaps. I think it's wonderful. I think that this country, Sarah, can't do everything.
Yeah.
And I know that we discussed a moment ago, not bringing in another case, but to me, when you don't give money to somebody who did work in the betterance of society, and you send stimulus money to prisoners who were there because they did something wrong, and you send $1.2 billion in stimulus money to people who are serving life terms in prison, to me, doesn't make sense. But perhaps somebody will straighten me out a couple of cases from now.
Stuart Selman is suing his former friend, Elena Smith, for an unpaid car loan given to Elena after her release from prison.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case 2166, Hammond versus Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Salmon, the long and short of this case is you met the defendant on some sort of a website. She was in prison at the time. You began to see her. She got out of prison. You gave her a certain amount of money that you consider gifts to her, but then she asked you if she could borrow money to buy a car. You gave her $2,600 with the expectation of being repaid, and this is your lawsuit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And your answer to him said, well, it was never really anticipated that I would give him back his money, only I said I would give him back if I got my stimulus money. I didn't get my stimulus money, so I'm not paying him back. That's what the case is about. Simple. So let me get a couple of pieces of information from you. From when to when were you in prison?
January of 2019 until June of 2022.
For what?
Several things. I did any thefts and stolen firearms.
And?
That was it.
Was there one indictment or more than one indictment?
One federal indictment and 23 counts for state.
Which state?
Washington.
Was it the first time you were in prison?
Yes.
Did anybody else go into prison as a result of the same case?
No.
At what point during your stay in prison did you begin to communicate with Mr. Salmon?
Somebody had put me on a prison pen pal website, which I wasn't aware of until I got a message from him. I took myself off the site. That site's usually for people to get things from people, money in their books, packages. So we started talking, but...
When? Give me a month and year.
It was in April of 2019.
So right away?
Yeah, about a few months after.
Right away. And you were in jail, so you clearly stayed in touch with him.
Yeah.
How often did you stay in touch with him?
We corresponded maybe initially once every couple of months.
And then?
And then I was taken from prison to Spokane in November of 2020 for a federal indictment. I was gone 6 months.
To serve time on a federal indictment?
Not to serve time, but to be indicted and sentenced.
And were you?
I was.
To what?
6 months.
In the same prison?
No.
Different prison?
Yeah, I was supposed to go after my state to go to my federal time.
Now, the government started to send out these stimulus checks, which, in my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, were given to people who were suffering through the pandemic because they couldn't work, they couldn't feed themselves, they needed money to exist. And that's why the money was given out. I mean, I recall the letter that came with the stimulus money. It seemed to me, Ms. Smith, so I'm going to ask you, because I read your answer, which I found interesting. And you said that while you were in prison and communicating with him, several of your stimulus checks came. Where did they come?
They were going to be sent to his house.
Why were they going to be sent to his house?
Because inmates were having their stimulus checks sent to the facility. The facility takes 75% of it.
Now, so I knew this would get more interesting, and I have to sort of put it in my timeline. So you had to apply for the stimulus checks.
Correct.
And all the inmates filled out a form for the stimulus checks. The other inmates filled out forms which said that they wanted the stimulus checks, gave them their social security number and an address.
Correct.
And you put his address on your stimulus check.
Actually, he filed it for me.
Whoever, he put his address. Was it at your direction that he filled it out for you? Or did he just do it himself? I mean, I'm up to a casual.
Yeah, he filed online for me.
Because you asked him to?
Yes.
And because he used his address, while the government was taking 75% of those stimulus checks and taking it for your upkeep in prison, because there's a certain amount of upkeep. You have meals, you have doctor services, whatever you have. They took 75, leaving you 25%, I suppose, to put on your account in the canteen or to do whatever you want. Is that close?
Yes.
How many checks did you see?
None.
Because according to you, they went to his house, and since he couldn't find you, because you had been transferred to one prison or another, what did you do with the checks and how many did you get?
I believe they got 2 checks and then they just all expired. You know, I never deposited them or anything.
Do you have them?
No, ma'am.
Where are they?
One of them I sent back.
And where's the other one?
Let's throw it away.
When did they send it, in 2020 or 2021?
I believe it's 21.
Your Honor, it was 2020.
Okay. But you never cashed any of them?
No, ma'am.
Good thing. Very good thing. No rhyme or reason to giving out stimulus money to people who are already being taken care of by the state, but the federal government, I know, was printing money like it was Mardi Gras, and sending money to prisoners is dubious thing. Sarah, you looked up some figures for me on, because I was curious about this case, how much money Kevin and I spent on sending money to prisoners, especially those who were in long-term, like lifers or whatever. She wasn't, but she got stimulus checks, 2 of them sent to him.
So there were over 1.1 million COVID stimulus checks, totaling over 1.3 billion sent out to incarcerated people across the United States throughout COVID. And out of those numbers, according to the letter from the IRS, some 163,000 recipients were serving life sentences who received the stimulus checks. But that's throughout the U.S., not just in Washington
not just the state
or
of
Texas.
Washington. I got it. Okay. I don't know one guy that cold turkey goes on a prison website to get a pen pal. But the people that do that are sort of the same.
Stuart Selmond claims his former friend, Elena Smith, owes for a car loan he gave her after she was released from prison.
Then, Miss Smith, there comes a time when you get out of jail.
Correct.
During the time that you were in jail, once you reconnected with him, did he send you any money?
That's when he started. He never had before. I never asked, but when
you reconnected?
Yes, because I had lost my job. Being
so
gone
you
for
got
court.
out?
No, I had a job in the prison.
Okay.
But I was gone for 6 months for court, so when I got back, I lost that job. So that was the first time I asked him for help. But again, my stimulus checks were supposed to be at his house, so
but they were
I didn't know that yet.
Okay.
So.
Well, you asked him to fill out the form. Why did you agree to fill out the form with your address on the stimulus checks?
She said she had no one else to send them to.
Okay. Mr. Salomon, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you work for?
I work at the hospital in Tyler.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Now, Mr. Salmon, why wouldn't you ask Ms. Smith, hey, why do you want them at my house? I can't cash them. Why not just send them to the prison? Did she tell you?
No, ma'am.
Did you ask her?
No, ma'am.
All right, so he's not asking for any of that money back. He's asking for the $2,600 for the car that you wanted when you came out of prison. When you came out of prison, you lived independently.
I was in transitional housing.
Mm-hmm. And tell me how it came about that you asked him for money for a car.
He came and picked me up from prison, bought me a phone.
Okay, he picked you up. That was nice.
Yeah.
Anybody else pick you up?
No.
Who was that?
This is my best friend of 18 years.
Okay, did she pick you up?
No.
So he picked you up?
Yeah.
Okay, and what else did he do? He bought you a phone.
He bought me a phone.
He's not asking for that back. He bought you a phone as a gift, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Yes, he bought you a phone so that you would be connected to the world.
Correct.
What's next?
Then he started cash apping me money
He
that
did.
I didn't ask for.
How much?
I have it over here. The first one was June 13th for $50, June 14th for $50. This is prior to the car money.
So you said you needed some cash and he...
I never said I needed it. He just was doing it.
Okay, and he's not asking for any of that money back.
Right.
Now tell me about the car.
So I got a job offer, but I didn't have a vehicle. So he had been helping me out for a while.
Okay, so he's helping you.
So I asked him for money to get a car. This first stimulus check that he sent back, I wasn't getting, but the third one I had to file a tax return in order to get that, which was only $1,400.
Oh, just a second. I don't care about your stimulus money. I don't want to buy you a car.
To pay him back.
I don't want to buy you a car.
But he bought me a car.
No.
My stimulus money I was supposed to give him for only $1,400.
No. You have to understand something. You have no proof, and I actually believe him when I say he didn't cash your stimulus checks.
Yeah,
he returned them. You don't even think that he cashed them because that would have been a federal offense and he would have gone to jail.
I didn't.
And you didn't want to go to jail, right?
No, ma'am.
And truth of the matter is, stimulus money is, in my view, not for anything other than try to keeping everything in balance while there was COVID. Now, you got out of jail. Owning a car is sort of a luxury. You have to have a car, you have to have insurance, you have to be able to keep it up. That's not what stimulus money was for. So let's go back. He didn't collect any of your money. He was nice enough to put in $50 here, $60 there, gave you a phone so you would be connected. Now you tell him that you need money for a car. On what date do you tell him you need money for a car?
On June 15th.
And he gave you $2,600. Correct. And that was in June of 2022.
Correct.
Now, I'd like to see the emails following up when he's asking you for repayment of that $2,600. Do you have any?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. Where is the car now?
It was totaled. It was a recent car accident.
When?
December 2nd.
Who was driving it?
I was driving it.
Did you have insurance on it?
Yes.
Did you hit another car and the other car hit you?
The other car pulled out in front of me and I hit them. They were at fault.
The insurance payout on the claim? To whom?
To myself.
How much?
Just for the damage of the car, it was $3,200.
So what did you do with the money?
I bought a new vehicle.
What kind did you get?
2008 Pontiac G6.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid $2,700.
So if you gave him back his $2,600, you still would have had a down payment enough for that car.
I paid cash on this vehicle.
I know what you did, but if you had done the right thing, you would have paid him back his $2,600, and you would have had a down payment, and you would have been paying off the car.
So there was no agreement for me to pay the $2,600. It was to pay him back with my stimulus of only $1,400.
Well, I've read this here, and you know what I get out of these text messages back and forth? Something that people who are takers do all the time. They justify taking because you say, you're just so blank petty. You make more than enough, and I'm making $500 a week. I have real life problems. So you're saying that the money isn't really that important to you, and it's that important to me, and I have a child to take care of, and you don't. You make $500. You live alone, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You live alone. You were a good sucker for a while, and now I'm not giving you back the money. I'm cutting you off. Did you change? Yes.
He continued to cash app her after the $2,600.
Up here.
After June 15th, when he sent her the $2,600, he sends her, unsolicited, another $700 dating all the way to August 11th.
Well, that's terrific. Isn't he a nice person? She's been your best friend for 17 years.
18, yes, ma'am.
18 years. Do you work?
I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I work in healthcare.
You make a living?
I do.
You have a car?
I do.
You have a home?
I do.
Right. Why didn't you give her money?
I was in the middle of a divorce, and we were selling our home.
So the answer is you had other things. You work, that's two sources of income of her best friend for 18 years.
And she could have come to you. And
She did,
just
and I
to say-
gave her money.
Okay, well, she seems to be, you can sit down. She seems to be a taker. And if he gave her more money, even after this $2,600, he's not asking for that money back.
He also told me to keep the stimulus check to pay the car.
Oh, I'd like to
Yes.
see it. Not that it's important.
No, it is. He
Because
told me
I'm
to keep it.
Just a second, because I'm not. You didn't get another stimulus check.
No, I didn't get the stimulus.
No, you didn't get another.
That was the only stipulation to paying him back was with that.
No. No.
Yes. He was tracking my iPhone. He was.
Stuart Selman has accused his former friend, Elena Smith, of refusing to pay back a car loan. Elena claims the car was a gift after she was released from prison.
He was being a really nice guy. I sent you money so you and your daughter can do some stuff, like you can get some of your precious Papa John's. Seems like a nice guy.
She never asked for any of it. She even had him blocked
Just a second.
during that.
She spent it.
Yeah.
Just a second. She spent it. Do you know, there are times when I remember both myself and other family members erroneously received money. I don't know if it ever happened to you. Okay. Erroneously, a deposit comes into your checking account. You don't know where it comes from. Well, somebody put it in there mistakenly, right?
This wasn't mistaken.
Just a second. Same theory, madam. Somebody put it in there mistakenly. Well, you can either report it to the bank and say, I don't want any more of this money. It feels uncomfortable to me. Or you can say, listen, I'm going to hold this in my account and see if they come after it, see how long it takes them to find it, right? Or you can do the honest thing, you pick up the phone and you call and say, this money doesn't belong to me and I'm not going to spend it. Similarly, even though the money was unsolicited, your friend was a user. Your friend was a user. She started out by saying, people use these online websites for prisoners because they want stuff. Is that what she said in the beginning?
I also said I took myself off of it. I didn't put myself on it.
Just a second. Whether you did or did not, I don't know, but you certainly benefited from it.
How?
You took his money. Somebody that you met, you took, according to now you, who you said $50 twice is what he sent. Now your friend says, oh no.
This is after.
Oh no, I know exactly what you said, madam. I know exactly what you said. You said, no, that was after the $2,600. But for somebody who says, I wouldn't want to be in that site because other people were using that site to get people to give them things, and I took myself off that site, well, there's no further reason for you to stay on the site. You had your sucker.
No.
No. This
Hold
is
on.
after she came out of jail.
It took 3 years. 3 years for me to ask him for anything. So if I was going to use him, it would have been the entire time. I stopped having communication with him because he was tracking my iPhone. He was constantly blowing up my phone. He wanted to have me do inappropriate sexual things to him. He became a weirdo. He sent me an email.
Madam, I have to tell you something. It takes one to know one. It takes a weirdo to know a weirdo.
No.
If you're in prison,
no.
To me,
No.
maybe not to
with
you.
The things that he asked.
Sit. If you're in prison, a woman in prison, you said the women in prison go on this line so that people, weirdos. I mean, I have a very large family, really large extended family. I don't know one guy that cold turkey goes on a prison website to get a pen pal. I don't know. I'm sure that there are people that do that, but the people that do that are sort of the same people in my mind, and I know it's an old mind, are the same sort of people that have themselves shot out of a cannon or will jump off a 9th-story building with a parachute and see if it works. A little bit crazy. A little bit. You know, right? Even when you marry somebody who's doing a life term in prison, I think it's sort of an interesting story. I wouldn't recommend it for my granddaughter. So the fact that you did a substantial stint in prison, leaving a small daughter who was taken care of by whom?
Her father.
By her father. Still taken care of by her father?
Yeah.
So you have a place in your life that's sad that she's not with you, but it gives you the ability to create a life for yourself because you're free. So you can create a life for yourself. This man says, I was a very nice man. I made you more comfortable while you were in jail, a little more comfortable. And when you got out of jail, I also sent you money. Now, If you're telling me, and your friend is suggesting that he wanted some sort of a quirky quid pro quo, that's a reason to cut him off. It's not a reason not to pay him back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,600. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
But we were just friends, you know. She just said a lot of things that weren't true. Like, I never asked anything from her, and I mean...
I thought he was lonely. He goes on vacations by himself. He has no friends.
I didn't keep cashing her after I was blocked and stuff, so...
Thought he wanted a friend, and he was trying to buy my friendship, obviously.
No reason, she's just making stuff up, no. Character assassination.
Right after my release from prison.
Be careful you loan money to.
Don't get a pen pal.
No more prison pen pals.
So this is something they don't teach in law school.
I'm ready.
If something doesn't make sense to an otherwise sensible person, you have to know there's a gimmick attached to it. You know, if something walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yep.
Now it may be a mongoose, but if you'd be pretty safe in saying, you know, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. So it's not a duck, it's a mongoose. But if you come from a relatively simple background and you know a lot of people, and you don't know anybody who's pen pals with a prisoner. There are a lot of people, because there are lonely people. People in prison are lonely, and there are sometimes lonely women who start to communicate, even just from a sympathetic Good Samaritan kind of coming from that direction. People should know that if a stranger is giving you money, under those circumstances, there's got to be a catch there someplace.
I mean, I know my brain stems from your brain, so maybe we're just on the same track here, but I would never accept money from someone who's seemingly just giving it to me because. There's always a string, there's always an attachment, even from people that you know. But definitely with strangers, there's strings. Otherwise, why are they giving you the money in the first place?
Right.
I think she knew what she was doing, and even if she didn't sign herself up, even if we take her at her word on that, she knew what the people on that site were about.
Oh, well, she was very clear. Yep. She knew that people in prison were going to be entitled to get stimulus checks, but they were to be directed to the prison because the prison would take out 75% of those checks, which would cover your care. The government's still taking care of you, but they're not taking care of you twice.
Yeah, so basically the government is paying twice for you.
And so in order not to do that, she concocted this scheme.
Found someone who would be okay with the other end.
Sending it to them. And I'm sure that didn't come to her genius head alone. Somebody in prison said, this is what you do in order not to keep the 75%. If somebody else do it,